Hey everybody, we're back.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Excellent. Welcome. It's a special Oh Yeah podcast with a dash of Star Trek rewatch. Okay, who's echoing? I'm betting it's Mitchell.
Me?
I bet it's the new guy. New guy.
Is it,
How about now, Mitch?
It looks
I don't have an
different.
echo
Scoot
here,
looks
John.
different. How does he? He looks
He's
so
clean shaven. Let's go.
He is, relatively so, yes.
You still getting an echo?
No, I think we're good now, Mitch. Cool.
Okay.
Welcome. It's Mitch Halleck, everybody, of USS Terrificon, as he says. Captain Halleck.
That's right.
Captain Halleck, surely you understand the situation.
Yes, that they're going to do a CBS All Access thing on a Tuesday when everybody's home.
Well, the reason why they're doing it on Tuesday is it's September 8th, and
Yes.
September 8th is Star Trek Day.
Yes, I know.
So,
People go to school and go to work, things like that.
hey man,
Nobody
May the
does
4th. May the 4th happens on a leap year. It doesn't
I
matter.
know, but they don't shut down and do a 24-hour panel thing. I'm just reading
Well, but that's
program.
wise. That's
Yeah.
wise because much like Fandom, it's hitting all time frames, and it looks like they're repeating the panels during prime time, as well as showing them during the afternoon, and that's smart.
I like how they're having merchandise flash sales. Always got to make the almighty
Oh,
dollar.
yeah.
Like the Ferengi are running this thing.
All right, so you got to give some context to Skoke and everybody else who's watching. So we do a
okay.
Star Trek rewatch show or watch show.
Yeah, according to
Yes.
Deadline, that's where I saw the announcement in the article I sent everybody.
Now they're doing a like DC Fandom, like
Yes.
that thing. They're doing a Star Trek version of that, like a Star Trek
Yep. To celebrate
panel
the
day or
50th
whatever.
Yeah, to celebrate the 54th anniversary of the original series, there will be a 24-hour free event which will take place on September 8th and will include panels with the cast and creatives from all 9 of the Star Trek iconic franchise, exclusive news, marathons,
now,
opportunities.
My question is, are they all hosted by Will Wheaton?
No, thank goodness.
No, but Will Wheaton does have programming will include
Yeah.
panels from noon till 3:30 Pacific time, and then 3 until 6:30. I'm very confused. Oh, Eastern time. There you go.
Yeah.
But Wesley and Mika Burton will serve as hosts of free panels and programming that will reunite iconic cast members and creative minds from nearly every single franchise under the Star Trek umbrella. In addition to stories from the past and present, there will be news from the CBS All Access Star Trek universe live that you will want to hear.
Yes.
So he is hosting everything.
I just want to say how wonderful it is that we're all here. He speaks very slowly and weirdly.
Will
does.
They are giving
Why
money
you
to
got to make fun of the guy?
They are giving
Hey.
it to charity. I noticed it too. It is done for a good cause. It's on the
Yeah, absolutely at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, if you hashtag, what's the hashtag, Mitch?
I just saw hashtag Star Trek United gives. They'll give $1 to organizations like the NAACP, Legal Defense Fund, Equal Justice. So
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
to
no,
be
it's good cause. No,
Hey,
they
Mitch, can I ask you a question? Did you not shut the airlock in your ship? Because you sound like you're in outer space right now. That's funny.
Does
my
he?
Goodness gracious!
he sounds okay to me.
I
Does he
don't
sound weird?
know. I'll get to the mic.
I had that problem the other night because when I was talking to Bendis and Oming about powers, and it sounded like this. How you doing? Okay. And I don't know what happened, but it did.
You were on with me before that, and I heard you, but I didn't I didn't make anything of it.
Yeah. Okay. Is there something on my face? Am I all right? Okay.
I just thought you were whatever.
Was smoking the wacky weed.
So John is the biggest Star Trek nerd on this
Of the four of us. Yes.
You're
Yes.
all excited about this.
Yeah.
You're not leaving your house on Tuesday.
Well, I've been working from home, pre and post pandemic. So I mean, it's business
Johnny
as
hasn't
usual.
left his house since 2018.
I was gonna say.
I've become a Howard
know.
Hughes. I've got Kleenex boxes on my feet.
When
My
you said
nails are real long.
The only thing I was interested in watching was the Pike show, which are going to have Rebecca Romaine and Ensign Mount.
Boy, I'd
Ensign
like
Mount.
Ensign Mount.
Ensign Mount. And then they're going to have Deep Space Nine reunion, because that's a great show.
Sure.
I've watched that. Will you watch the Lower Decks panel so we can see who these people are
Yeah.
that we ridicule every week?
No, I'm like I said, I intend to watch all of them. I'm very interested to hear what they have to say because it sounds like it's only
Loser.
what's that? Loser. I want to see how long the panels are again. 3.5 hours. Pfft, cup of coffee. What are you talking? You know what that is? A John Word Balloon short episode.
Exactly.
Gee, I'm sorry, we only have 3.5 hours. I hope that's okay, Rob Burnett. Rob was on. We started 11:30 12:30 a.m. your guys' time, East Coast boys,
Yeah.
and we went until 5:15 Eastern time. It was like I stayed up and watched Dragnet, Skoke. That's how early it was. I was watching it 4:30 and 5 on MeTV. It's 7 p.m. It was warm in Los Angeles. It was so great. I was dying. Cracking up.
I popped in on some of that. You guys were talking.
Yes, you did.
You were talking about extras like bonus features and how when they convert those things to streaming, a lot of times Rob was saying they don't realize that there are all these bonus features that go along with the movies. The people who create the streaming versions aren't aware that these things even exist. So,
Well, yeah, because the departments that used to make those special features don't exist anymore. So they, in some cases, the studios might not even know that stuff exists. But also, like Criterion does. Criterion includes their bonus stuff, which I'm glad they do. It's a shame, and yeah, Rob, along with being involved with Star Trek video games, and he did the special features for the Blu-rays and stuff of Next Generation and Enterprise. He really was in the special feature business. He created, it's online on YouTube. It was the 20th anniversary, the 30th anniversary of Tron. A really great behind the scenes look at Tron. He did it for Fantasia. He did it for the Lord of the Rings movies, the X-Men movies, Superman Returns. So I liked what Rob did with Free Enterprise's movie. But, after I met him and he's like, oh, yeah, I made this, I made that. I'm like, I bought all those DVDs. I've watched those special features. You really know what you're doing. So, anyway.
And I've watched you guys review. I saw one of the reviews you did of Lower Decks.
We're not happy.
Was there swearing involved?
There might have been.
Were we yelling at Mike? Were we yelling at Negin?
Yeah. He came in later. He joined.
Well, we were either yelling at Negin or yelling at Mitch.
Or yelling at Mitch, yeah. One of the two.
Johnny definitely yelled at Negin at one point.
He muted him at one point. It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation, even though I haven't seen the show.
It's like group therapy with crazy people. You just go crazy.
Exactly.
You're
the problem!
I like it. I've got Mitch. My Star Trek knowledge is I'm on the outer edges. I've seen all of Next Generation, but that's it. I haven't seen the original
The
series.
Lower Decks is for you, Scoop, because we don't know who the hell they made it for. Because we say that every week. Like, we don't know who the hell's watching the show and why they made it. So it's perfect for you then.
Yeah, if there's a Trek show that it's based on, it's clearly Next Generation.
Yeah, so you're fine. Watch it.
And it's, and truly, there's a lot of good things about it. The design is amazing. I do think the intro is funny. There are parts that are funny. And especially Skoke as a connoisseur of humor as well, I think you would agree, once you see it, that it probably should be a little funnier.
Yeah.
To say the least.
It seems like just from what I've seen of the look of it, it looks almost like Rick and Morty, Family Guy, somewhere in that neighborhood, but sounds like it's not as funny, or it's trying to be and doesn't quite make it. Or maybe not. Franco, I know you might be disagreeing with that.
About what?
Early on, you enjoyed the
liked
humor.
Yeah,
of the
he
show.
did.
Well, the first couple of episodes were intriguing me, and I'm like, okay, I'll stick around. And then I think from episode 3, when these guys liked it, I hated it, and then it's just gone downhill since then.
I sound weird.
I'm waiting to hit the bottom of the canyon at some point.
We'll see. They got another 5 to go. So I like what Ed says here. I workshop a movie called Special Features. It's going to be great. Penny was going to play herself, doing a commentary. I was thinking about getting Winkler back, have a little talk about Fonzie. Everybody liked Fonzie. Leather jacket. He was a hero. He was very courageous. Jumped over garbage cans. People don't remember that.
You got to do it with an overbite, John. Do it again.
Then!
Yeah.
No.
That
That's
was
an
a
underbite.
Marshall family trait there. They all
I was watching a Mary Tyler Moore, and it was a great episode where they're going to shoot inside a singles bar and the nightlife of a singles bar. And Penny Marshall was there. She was one of the single girls. Hi. And it was great. She's trying to pick up Lou. And she's like, here's my number. He's like, what? It was funny.
You've got spunk. I hate spunk.
Ed Asner's the best. It goes from 8 years on Mary Tyler Moore and gives us another 5 years on Lou Grant, and he's like awesome as a serious actor as Lou Grant. I mean, he was before MTM as well. So.
Yeah, and then he was Santa Claus.
That's right.
That's right. He was very good.
J. Jonah Jameson on the Spider-Man cartoon.
That's true too.
And wasn't he Granny
Goodness.
And yeah, on the Justice
Hello,
League.
dearie. Yeah, funny as hell.
Superman one.
All of it. Anytime fourth world characters showed up, he was Granny Goodness. He used to do voiceover stuff for animated things with a radio buddy of mine, and was always like excited about either Ed was coming to town or I'm going out to the coast to do a voiceover thing with Ed Asner, and he was always really excited. And he said he's an incredibly good guy.
He works with Phil Hester, of all things, on some type of charity.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hester knows him well. Yeah.
God, I should see, and of course, the star of Up.
Oh, yes, right. He was the voice of the
What
old
part?
man.
Oh, I thought he played the part of the bird.
No.
Nice.
No. And he was Jabba the Hutt on the Return of the Jedi radio show. I don't know how that happened, but
Wow, I didn't know that. I love those radio shows.
Yeah.
Those radio shows. Ari Leidecker or whatever was at a very weird casting thing. Wasn't he Lando?
Lando, yeah.
It's like the white guy playing Lando. It's like, boy, that would fly today. But Perry King was Han Solo, and a good one.
Perry King from Riptide?
Yes. And Lords of Flatbush.
Yes, exactly. The precursor to Fonzie. Winkler's in this movie with Perry King and Stallone. Lords of Flatbush.
Those were two great names in Riptide. It was Perry King and Joe Penny.
Joe Penny, yeah.
And then
who's
Joe
the other
Penny
guy?
went on Jake and the Fat Man after that.
Yes.
And he married Terry Hatcher, too, you know.
No, I didn't know that. That's awesome. And he's in...
Oh.
Joe something. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Because he was in The Sopranos, too. And he was like a carpenter or whatever.
Yes.
And then Carmelo was like really hot for him and stuff. And he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, Tony Soprano's wife likes me. And he's scared to death because he knows he'll die.
I forget, that was Joe Penny, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
was
what I'm
Joe
saying.
Penny,
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the other guy, Boz? The guy with the nerd with the
Oh,
glasses.
the other guy from Riptide, the Screech of Riptide. Yes.
I think he didn't swim with the current, so he's out of there.
No, he's out of there. Yeah. That was one of those helicopter shows. They had a helicopter.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
That was the thing that year.
That and Viper. Riptide, and then a few years later was Viper. It's like, ugh, this crap.
But then there was that one
Stingray?
where they had a crossover. Because I forget what channel Riptide was on, but they had a crossover.
NBC.
I remember it was on NBC, and then CBS was Simon & Simon and Magnum, and they had a crossover.
Well, that I knew.
I
Yeah.
was very excited about that.
Because that was all Donald.
Crossover too, I think.
That was all Donald Belisario. Yeah.
Mhm.
So. That's why I can't watch the. I can't watch the new one. Because it's like, sorry, man. There's like one Magnum.
It's not Magnum.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not.
the new one. Yeah, no, that's not him.
Or Hawaii Five-0. Because all Scott Conn. Somebody told Scott Conn, man, you really look like your dad. And ever since then, all he does is he mugs like his father.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
He's
not
tiny,
not
like-
good.
He's like 5'2".
Is he really? That's funny.
No, he's
Did he ever do your show?
No, but I met him years ago somewhere, and he was like literally 5'3". He looks like his dad, but he's tiny, and you can't stop
Oh,
thinking
God.
like how small he is. You're like, ugh.
There's a scene in Ocean's 11 where he's just like waiting for Casey Affleck, and he just totally does like a Sonny, like, okay, come on, and it's like all silent, but it's like, yeah, we get it, man. You look like your dad. It's scary.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with the new Magnum PI. Is I have no problem that he's Hispanic, but I got a problem with him being real short.
Yeah.
He's like when he stands along with everybody else. My image of Magnum was always like big
Yeah, towering.
man.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
still
why
a
he's so.
movie. Was
What's
the
that?
Same thing. That Han Solo movie threw me for the whole thing. The guy had the Harrison Ford mannerisms, but he's a foot shorter, and Woody Harrelson's like towering over him. I'm like,
Well,
really?
didn't you see those? You didn't see those results from the space guys, the astronauts. They actually
yeah.
elongate in space. So he
Yes,
was out
they're-
there for a while. So Han Solo got bigger.
Yeah, okay, all right, sure,
I like it.
sure,
Come on,
yeah.
that's an explanation. It works.
Not
But Tom
really.
Cruise, you never notice how small he is. We should get
Or Stallone.
Chris Giarusso on here. He'll kill you if you mention Tom Cruise. Make fun of him.
Why?
He does a podcast called Cruising with
Cruising
Tom for
Together.
the last
Oh, that's right. I
No,
forgot
Cruising
about that.
Together.
years or something. Yeah,
It's called Cruising Together, not
I
Cruising
thought it
with
was
Tom.
Cruising with Tom.
No, it's Cruising Together, I believe.
Am I right, Francis? Is he doing a book for Ahoy?
Yes,
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's done with that now.
He
Actually,
did- well, he
Yeah, I'm
did
sure it was in the
yeah,
past,
yeah.
but you know.
Yeah.
No, I was on their site. I was on their site because I did their panel for Mainframe, and you know, I got to tell you, all the
Hashtag Danger, by the way, is the name of it.
Yeah,
Hashtag
right, right.
Danger.
no Ahoy. I like Ahoy's like line of books. I think they're really funny.
Do you know what that stands for? Ahoy, by the way?
No.
Asshole of the year. God's truth.
I believe it.
That's
Excuse me.
what,
This isn't the Trek show. You're not allowed to
Oh,
swear. on
I'm
here.
sorry. Yeah, the guy said what it stood for. The head guy there. Can't
That's funny. Someone was wondering if it was Airwolf that Riptide crossed over with.
No, Airwolf, I believe, was on ABC.
No, that was CBS.
That was CBS. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
CBS. Yeah.
Blue Thunder was
Airwolf
ABC.
Was on Blue
Blue
Thunder.
Thunder
yes.
was ABC. That's
Was
it.
James Franciscus and a young Dana Carvey.
And Butkus and Bubba Smith.
No.
Sure.
Well, there were definitely Dick Butkus was on. I'm reasonably certain it was Blue Thunder.
I know Dana Carvey was on. Blue
Oh yeah,
Thunder.
you're right. No, I'm very young. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Blue Thunder.
James Ferrantino. I'm sorry, it wasn't James Franciscus.
That's right. James Franciscus
Because
is
his wife, his ex-wife. Well, he's dead now. She lives up the street from me. Deborah Ferrantino, who was in that science fiction show that nobody watched, called was it Eureka?
I like Eureka. Eureka's a great show, and yeah, she's lovely. She's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
You know,
Eureka's a great. Hey man, for no one watching it, it made it 5 seasons. It did just
She was on
fine.
some science fiction show.
No, that's the right one. That's the right one.
Yeah, but there's another thing on NBC too. She was on a sci-fi show.
Oh, was it that Timeless or whatever?
No,
I
that
like
was
Timeless.
more recent. No, she was. It was a big epic thing. I think it was produced by James Cameron. Maybe I'm thinking early 2000s.
I don't know. Dana Carvey was the Judge Reinhold character in Blue Thunder. He was Jaffo.
Yes. Yeah.
Just another flight observer.
Hey, Skoke, can I ask you a question? Have you noticed this as well between the two of these guys? They know more useless information than anybody else in the world?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. They got me
Eureka.
beat. Both of them. Each of them separately has me beat.
Yeah. But you sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a talent that we could only dream of. So.
Oh, hello there.
See,
Anakin, were you watching Airwolf the other
when
night?
he screams
Yeah.
the entire Attack of the Clones, like, why is he yelling at everybody in every scene?
That's
Yeah.
what I don't understand,
Yeah.
Mitch. Why all the yelling from Obi-Wan? When,
He has a communicator. He could just talk closer to it.
and Alec
Did the
Guinness.
Council order a clone army? I don't know. Why don't you scream it louder so they can hear you, you fucking idiot?
Oh,
Easy,
with the
easy.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
All right, one more swear, we're throwing you out.
All right.
I like when he's on Blue Thunder because I have the high ground.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
helicopter.
It makes no sense because Obi-Wan from the New
original
Hope,
three.
he doesn't talk. He doesn't
No.
scream.
That's
every-
quiet.
In fact, he can speak inside your head. That's how quiet he is.
That's right.
You
Run, Luke,
you guys
run.
don't understand, and this was actually confirmed by the astronauts. Is the longer you stay in space,
Yeah.
the quieter you get. You get taller and quieter.
And quieter. Yeah.
That's,
Why do they scream on lower decks then? We don't know.
How do we explain Buzz Aldrin then? Who I
they're
love,
all
by the way.
young.
I like Buzz Aldrin. Don't make
I liked when he was on 30 Rock and he was yelling at the moon. I own you. I walked across your face.
I didn't see that. Nice guy.
At,
though.
at the end of the episode, he and Tina Fey are yelling at the moon. He's like, "Want to join me in yelling at the moon?" She's like, "Yeah, why not?" And that's how it ends with it fading out. I own you.
I like when Buzz Aldrin punched out that dude that kept following
The
him
best.
around.
The
They said it was a
best.
conspiracy, and the cops, no one charged them with anything. They're like, no,
It's Buzz Aldrin.
he's a national hero. This guy's
And-
asking for it.
That's all right, Mr. Aldrin. Go ahead and punch the next guy, too.
Did you
Thank
ever
you,
see the
officer.
video? Did
What's
you ever
that?
see the video of the guy?
Of course.
Leveled him.
No, Mitch, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of it. Nobody has. This is brand new information. Go on.
Like that.
Dumbass.
I mean, he had a good hit.
20 minutes in, Johnny yells at him.
I know,
There it
right?
is. Mark it
Do you know
down.
what I'm talking about? I don't know if you've seen it. The cat's playing with its balls on a YouTube.
Since it's an audio thing, one would just take the preconception that people have heard about it but not watched it.
Yeah, listen, hey, guess what? Senior Wences has got something to say to him. No, you're wrong, Mitch.
Okay.
It's not true, Rich.
Mitch, I didn't realize that.
Yes, go.
I didn't realize you were at the phase where Johnny is yelling at you now.
Yeah,
This
he
is,
does. He yells at me, and I go, we can get anybody to host those.
There you go.
meals."
There you go. Nice. What is that? What's that?
It's coconut monkey. I was drinking out of it.
I see. Coconut Monkey.
On my other
That's my
show.
favorite Kink song, Coconut Monkey.
It was
Coconut
I don't know if
Monkey.
anybody saw it.
You gotta get one of these, Mitch. You gotta get yourself one.
Oh, hey, really?
He yelled at me last night, Skoke, when I went to do the whole show as Baby Yoda, and he was like, "Get that off!" I'm like, "Okay."
Come on. That's
Try
a
to
good
get
mask.
away.
Well, because he's like, yeah, we were talking about Star Trek, and
and-
I'm like, all right, nobody can hear you.
And he
brings
sounded
the
better with
ratings
the
up.
mask on than he does tonight.
Usually.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Have you seen the Jamie Farr video, Mitch?
Yes, I did, and that was actually very well done. Jamie's a great guy. He's 84 years old. God bless him.
He's the best.
He's sharp.
He was,
Oh, I
he was-
thought I loaded the Skoke water commercial. I did not. I was about to go, or we'll be right back, but no, I don't have anything like that. I have something. I have one.
Skoke is on the show, John. Fuck you. Oh, I did it.
Hey, we're gonna give Mitch a timeout until he can collect him. So I'm just teasing. I'm totally teasing.
No, I was giving
You
Skoke-
swore!
I was giving Skoke a comp. I swear all the
Yeah,
time.
but you swore.
I'm Italian and Catholic. We do this constantly. My wife
Children
does it
watch
all
this
day.
show. Mommy, what did he mean?
Wow, call DYS if they are. Jesus Lord. But no, I like when I'd be listening to the show and I forget Skoke was on it, and I'm walking, and an hour later he goes, "Hey guys, I gotta go." I go, "Hey, well, he was on the show, so it's nice that a video thing you can see you there."
Yeah.
Similar to watching Buzz Aldrin punch that guy because it's a video
never saw that.
thing. You can see that.
Is there a
Yeah.
video of that anywhere?
Apparently there is. I don't know.
Oh my God! What did I just? I was watching, and I don't know when. Oh, I know why. Because you saying that made me think of, are you going somewhere when you do your
Why?
Clancy Brown Kurgan? I was watching The Crown on Netflix, the 3rd season, because I saved that stuff knowing that the 4th season's coming.
When they when they changed actors, I could.
It's good. It's still good. Olivia Colman, she's great. She won the Oscar. She's in Broadchurch with David Tennant.
Oh, let me run right
yeah.
out and see that.
It's a good
Broadchurch
show.
is good. That had
It's a
dark-haired,
yeah.
Doctor Who lady.
Oh, she's in a million. She's in all the Edgar Wright movies as well. She's in
She's in the Edgar
Hot
Rice
Fuzz
Burroughs
and
movies?
stuff like that. What's that?
She's what?
She's in the Edgar Rice Burroughs movies.
She's in Hot Fuzz, the Edgar Wright
Tarzan.
movie.
She's in
Oh, the
Tarzan
Edgar Wright
movies.
movie.
Yeah, she's Jane. But anyway, Clancy Brown played Lyndon Johnson, which was really interesting. And I would have cast Clancy Brown as Lyndon Johnson, but he was very good.
Ooh,
I
let me run right out. and watch all
Linda
that.
Johnson. I was like, who's Linda Johnson?
Yeah, Lyndon Johnson. Yes.
New world we live in, buddy.
Did you ever see that video? No. Anyway,
Guys, I saw something for the first time that's not new, but it was new to me. I saw Delirious, the Eddie Murphy stand-up special.
what'd you think?
Yeah.
Let's talk
How's that
about
play these days?
Some parts don't so much.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But it was amazing just to watch how young this guy was, and he's just a huge deal,
Yeah.
a huge star. And not long after, I learned of a song that Eddie Murphy recorded called
Party All
"Boogie
the
in
Time.
Your Butt." No,
Yes.
"Boogie in Your Butt." Have you guys heard
Party
that?
all the time?
Yep. Yeah.
No, "Boogie in Your." You got to hear "Boogie in Your Butt."
We were all alive in the '80s, so
Yeah.
yes.
Was that in the red leather suit? Because I saw that in concert in New Haven.
Delirious is the red
Yeah,
leather.
I saw him do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in college too. Yep.
So I had some friends of mine that wanted to show that to them because they're like, "Oh, big fans, Eddie Murphy's funny,"
Don't do
I
that.
showed it to their college-age son, and he sat there, and like 10 minutes in, he's like, "Can I go now?" Because he just was not
It's
into it,
embarrassing.
didn't find it funny, thought it was kind of racist, and didn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like watching sex scenes with your mom in the room in a movie, and you just want to get the hell out of there. It's like, oh God, no, I forgot.
I've told that story. Raging Bull. My father
Wait,
wanted
is
me to
there-
see it
Is there
for.
a video of that?
My father wanted me to see it because of all the New York neighborhood stuff, because
Yeah.
it reminded him of his neighborhood in
Yeah.
Chicago. And my stepmother was like, "I don't think you should see it. It's a little too dirty." And my dad's like, "He's seeing it." It's like, okay. So we went, and all those sex scenes between De Niro and Kathy Moriarty. My stepmother is like, if she had heat vision, I'd be Swiss cheese, because they would have burned holes in me. And it's seriously, it's like, hey, way to give me a complex, lady. It's bad enough I'm 13. Fuck off. Sorry. See, that's what. Guess what?
Get yourself-
What that means?
get
Yep. Hold on.
Thank
I'll have a timeout. I suck. Where's the thing? There it is.
Yeah. Why don't you go? There you go.
Yeah, finally.
Thank God he's gone now.
Oh.
I'll tell you what. Seeing
He
his
hates us.
bathroom in the background all the time always bothers the hell out of me. So
You should
One
see
day
my
I'm gonna-
bathroom, Mitch.
Wait, if only we could go back in time and see other episodes.
Why don't you show him, Skoke? I closed the door. Otherwise, you would see my bathroom right now.
Did you ever remember the movie with Clint Eastwood and Anthony Perkins when it's called The Deadpool, I think it was, where he's down in New Orleans as a detective? And
It's called Nolans.
whatever. And Anthony Perkins is like this like pseudo preacher, but he's all into this weird sex stuff. Dad took me to see that
With
movie.
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner. How awkward was that?
Crimes of Passion, I believe
Crimes
is the name
that
of
he
that.
pulls
Yes.
out this giant
Yes.
Anthony Perkins
Phallus.
has a giant dildo thing, and my
Or a
dad sat
dildo,
next to
I
sure.
him
believe,
like, oh,
if
man.
I'm not mistaken, the Deadpool movie is
That's Jim
that's a
Carrey.
Dirty Harry. That's a Dirty Harry movie, and it's the first appearance of Jim Carrey. in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, okay, I had the wrong movie, but boy, talk about awkward when your dad's sitting next to you and you got Anthony Perkins up there with a vibrator. going.
With a thing.
But one of the first movies I saw in theaters, like I was really into like Conan type stuff, and there was a movie called I forget the name of it, but it had twins in it, and they were like kind of naked from credits to credits in the movie, and I saw it with my mother and my grandmother.
Oh, no. Was that what
Because-
Rucker Hauer?
No,
Oh,
can't remember, but there was a lot of nudity in it, and my mom and my grandmother were
Yeah.
there and watched it with me, and they were sitting on either side of me, and I was like, this is fun.
I saw Excalibur with my mom in 1981, and you know the scene where the guy pretends to be the woman's husband, and it's Helen Mirren. I don't remember who it was, but he's nailing her. It's kind of awkward when you're in
Whoa,
Catholic
whoa.
school and your mom's next to you, and
How did
you're watching somebody get raped on screen. You're like,
you went to
yeah.
Catholic school?
Hey,
That's why they
Mitch,
do it like
how
this.
about cleaning it up? Enough. Jesus,
Oh, really?
seriously.
F-bombs?
We're not kidding around. It's like a little. Bring it down to PG-13, all right? What the hell's the matter with? Seriously, these guys
Where's
make
my
all.
toys?
They make kids comics. Relax.
I think it's fine because he doesn't know that when they do it. I don't know what this is, but
Anyway, no, honestly, mentioning. I don't know what we just mentioned, but I was thinking of when we were talking about Star Trek about the Lander sisters. I wanted it to be because the actual people that were on Quark
Yes.
were these women instead, and I'm about to show you.
Quark was the thing we were talking about yesterday on the Star Trek Lower Decks, which was a Richard Benjamin science fiction comedy in the 70s
Right.
that lasted
And
about 3 weeks.
they had twins that were supposedly clones of each other, and Mitch thought it was the Lander sisters, but actually it was these ladies.
Ooh.
Sib
Thanks.
Barstable and Patricia Barstable.
Wow. They were
that-
the Landers.
they were the Quark
Lander
ladies.
sisters.
But yeah, Quark, there's a good picture. That's
Nice.
the guy in the middle, that's Ficus. Ficus was like the Mr. Spock, and he was a plant-based alien.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know. And
That's
then
funnier than Lower Decks.
and there's Richard Benjamin
who's
with the ladies.
Who's the old
John
guy?
Huston in the back there?
Douglas Fowley, I don't know who that is.
Don't know. They couldn't get Jack Elam.
And watch Troop Zero, everybody. And it's ladies' night tonight at the Palace Hotel
I
Board.
like Quark. I can remember.
Well, like it says, it was from the co-creator of Get Smart, Buck Henry,
Yeah.
the great Buck Henry. So there you go.
Looks like Kurt Russell on the cover. But it's not. Guy with the gun.
If only they had a video
Yeah, a little
where you
bit.
could see that it wasn't Kurt Russell.
No.
Look at the size of that guy's head on the right there.
He did.
How was that David McKellum Outer Limits last night, Jen?
It was excellent.
Was
Seriously. No, it's one of the Six Finger. It's one of the best.
Ooh,
Classic, man.
6 fingers.
Well, he goes in Edward Mulhare from Knight Rider and from the Ghost of Mrs. Muir.
Yeah.
He's a scientist, and he's invented a machine that will evolve a creature. First, they do it with a chimpanzee, and but then they do it on a man, and it's David McCallum. And his head gets big the way Superman and the Flash's heads used to get big in the Silver Age when they'd get really super smart or be evolved.
Like Hector Hammond.
And then he got Spock ears, and one of the things he got was, first it was just a little nub of an extra finger, and then when he was fully evolved, like a million years beyond present time, he had a full 6 finger, which, yeah, exactly. I think you have to pay $50 extra for that in Cleveland when that happens, when you're at a convention.
Clean it up. It's a kid show.
No, well, yeah, but you see, that's euphemistic as opposed to, yeah, so I was in the alley and I saw they still going at it, and she put a thing in a...
I didn't say that. I was talking about
like when your mom and dad watch you having sex, and, then all of a sudden you're teabagging somebody, and it's like, what? I'm sorry? What? Did I say something? What's wrong? Where's everybody going?
talking about
Mr. President, come back to the table. What's wrong? Anyway.
So anyway, let's talk about the Ghost of Mrs. Muir.
Yeah,
Edward Mulhare.
Jason Riley was on that show.
Oh!
How long was that show on?
2
Only
years.
I was gonna say only like 1 or 2 years. I remember watching it as a little kid. I bet you watched that, Mitch. Yeah, Hope Lang was all right. Let me tell you.
She was.
Easy now. Easy.
Big fan.
Getting back into that.
Boy, I'd like to. She flew for a long time, Hope Lang. She's the wife in Death Wish, the Charles Bronson movie.
Death
Last
Wish.
big screen appearance was with Harrison Ford in Patriot Games.
That's right. Yeah, she's one of the senators, right?
With Dean Jones.
See, they know stuff. Scope.
That's right. Dean Jones. Dean Jones, very weird, making like the Disney Love Bug movies,
Shaggy DA.
and also and Shaggy DA, but then also making like Company, the fine musical of Stephen Sondheim.
And Bob Crane. Remember Bob Crane? He was a Disney guy.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about his hardcore movie?
Connecticut's own Bob Crane.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
He was a local DJ. Yeah.
I knew he was a DJ before he was an actor. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a big LA DJ before he was an actor too. That's why he transitioned into being on camera.
Yeah.
I like Hogan's Heroes still.
I do too, but you're not supposed to. That's another story.
No, it's like Blazing Saddles. It's like that was like my favorite thing. Are you going to cancel Blazing Saddles when they canceled Gone with the they put Gone with the Wind on ice until they could have the contextual editorial documentary. But yeah, you're going to do it to Blazing Saddles? Like, no, that's the point of Blazing Saddles. Much like the point of Hogan's Heroes.
Did you know LeBeau was actually a camp survivor?
I've seen that YouTube as well, Mitch. But all right, thank you. Yes.
I didn't know if they knew.
I didn't even know the video existed.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, he was. You're absolutely right.
I didn't know that. Was he really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
No. He also made a Fantasy Island. No. It was a Papillon Devil's Island thing when he was on Fantasy Island. I thought he was a prisoner of war in Fantasy Island, but no, it was a Papillon Devil's Island thing.
Man, you guys sure know a lot of stuff.
Sorry, buddy.
We don't get out much.
Exactly. That's why we're pale. Look at our skin color, for God's sake. Hey, Mitch, want to go outside and play? No, I'm going to watch $6 Million Man.
Pretty much.
It's okay.
Maybe you guys
Man rocks.
maybe you can tell me how to do laundry, because
What do you got there?
I got this nice Judi Dench T-shirt from my friends Brian and Janine Rodriguez. If you're out there, hello.
Nobody sent me any shirts, Goke.
Just
I'll
wait.
send you some stuff.
That's all you have to do is mention it on the pod. Somebody will send you a shirt, Franco.
Let's see a shirt.
You gotta wash it inside out, Skoke, so it doesn't run.
So
you know what? It came with a detailed set of instructions, a list of all these things you need to do to care for this specific shirt with all the colors.
Yeah.
I threw it away. I figured,
Oh no.
I know how to wash clothes. I've been doing this for a long time. I can handle this.
single guy.
And then it's smeared. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
I can see it right on the shoulder.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. It bled.
Just bled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me from wearing it, though. I'll tell you that.
No, if anything, it makes it better.
As the color faded a bit, it's not as vibrant as it first was. Are you using all temperature cheer?
I use cold water, and I'm using.
Mitch's other YouTube channel is The Laundry Doctor. Make sure
right.
you watch it.
Yes.
Or he's called Spin Cycle. He does mornings on the All Laundry channel. How you doing,
no,
everybody?
take me away.
Effort here.
Yep.
Was that
Anyway,
a shield?
Skoke, it's fun. It's a shield. Yeah.
With his sidekick fabric softener.
Yes, but no, you can still save that shirt.
Wait. You mean like be able to clean that out?
Yeah.
As in, like you already
get
ruined it. So
What you want to do is, in your next
stain
load...
stick, and you can just rub it into that and let it sit overnight and do it. It'll get it out, that little schmooch.
you see, now you
Or
went
a
back
quarter
into
cup
the
of
alley.
witch hazel in your next rinse cycle should do the trick. And it'll give it a fresh smell, too.
He went back
27
into the
years I've
dark
been
alley.
married.
Mute him. He's
Yeah.
got that stain stick and he's rubbing it in. I can't. We can't do
That's
that.
no stain stick. See?
Trying to help somebody.
I know.
This
it's
is
easy.
great. Because I was afraid to, wear this out in public with all the
Well,
smears.
that's a
I wouldn't want to
different
look
story.
ridiculous.
Yeah. No, you want to have it clean if you're going to go out there. Is
Yeah.
that Jeff Goldblum on the pillow behind you?
And it's Jeff Goldblum.
Have you never
Wow, that's
seen any of these
interesting.
podcasts before?
He
No,
said he
I watch
listens.
your
He
show.
listens.
I listen, but I don't watch. I like that.
This is a Jeff Goldblum pillow
That is
for anyone who
something
might be
else.
only listening. And
Yeah.
if you go like this, it changes.
Oh my God, that's kind of horrific. Do it
You
again.
know, like it looks like
It's
you
like
can make
Harry-
him cry
Harvey
tears
Dent.
of blood. Yeah, look at that.
He's like a
Whoa.
something. That does Jeff Goldblum know that exists?
That's
I don't
Because
know.
I can see him doing a whole special about that.
I like the one red
Yeah.
mark on his forehead because it looked like he was like bleeding from the forehead or whatever.
So, can you do a Jeff Goldblum impersonation?
I try. I end up making a lot of noises,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
about as far
yeah.
as I get. Have you seen his show, his National
Yes, I
Geographic
did.
show? Mitch?
No, it was on the Disney Plus. I watched it for a while, and then I realized it's the same show. No matter what the topic is, okay, that's really. I can't do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen
It's-
one, you've seen them all. Yeah.
It's pretty. Every episode is Jeff Goldblum. Like he's never seen he's never seen a pair of jeans before.
Yeah,
Like
never
that,
saw,
or shoes. What are?
Went to a mailbox and there was these things in it. I don't know how it happens. Every day there's new ones. They're called letters. How does it get there? Tales of the Explained.
I want more Dr. Laundry tips myself, but that's me.
Okay.
I'm just
Fabric
saying.
softener is also good to get the smell of mold out of your old comic books. Did you know that? I do that.
How do you do that? What do you do with that?
Because if you get old comics, they have that mildew, moldy smell.
Yeah, that part I understand.
You
How does the fabric
take
softener
some,
work?
some fabric
Again,
softener.
this is seriously.
No, seriously, you take the fabric softener and you put them in like a Rubbermaid box and just leave it in there and for a couple days, and it will absorb that
Okay.
moldy stench.
So those are you're saying the sheets. You're saying the sheets.
dry
All right,
sheets.
I was seeing
No,
you
you
with
just put it
Downy,
all
liquid
over your
Downy,
comic.
and I'm like,
No,
all
not Liquid Downy. You don't want to do that.
right.
Liquid Downey Jr.
That would mess everything up.
That's my favorite show. Absolutely,
Yeah, it's on Nickelodeon.
Liquid Downy.
Wow, but that is something else. So that shirt.
Yeah,
I like how
a
devolved
masterpiece.
this has gotten. That there's no comments whatsoever.
Well, I can't
Anybody.
swear, so I'm limited to my topics. So you know.
Everyone left. They don't
I
want to hear
know.
about laundry.
Franco is the best. He is at all he does. He's
The
like-
best what?
Yeah, you
like
know
that.
it.
Did you see that Mark Hamill outfit, John, that they were going to use for the movie that they canceled? It was like this gold
No.
lame. I sent it. I said Franco wears it, and he says he wears it well. Hold on, let me see
Yeah,
if I
I
can
would.
get it. And then Howard Shakin got mad at me because I said Howard would have done wonders if he.
Well, if he had that to
that.
play with it, what did he say?
He said, "Oh, I'm always tearing things down, but I never build things up." So he was there. Here, that's Mark Hamill.
That's hilarious.
If you
Yikes.
zoom-
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Keep it there, keep it there. Yep.
Yeah, can you imagine swinging a lightsaber with
Look at
that?
that.
You'd look fabulous.
He,
Something else. Look at it. Actually, interesting though, isn't it?
No, it's kind of scary and like kind of.
Seventies.
It's
Gold.
yeah, it's Brady.
That has to be from a variety show.
I was gonna say it's Brady Bunch variety show. The Silver Platters wore that I think in their final.
I did. Remember the
Song.
Zardoz outfit that Sean Connery had, that like strap. Of
course, the diaper.
Like, imagine
Yeah,
Han
that was
Solo.
awesome.
Listen, I'm going to wear a diaper in this film. I hope it's not a problem.
Han Solo's wearing that. Luke's wearing this. Princess Leia's got the
Barely
the
holds my junk.
platform. Yeah.
I love that, and I think it was in her Wishful Drinking one woman show where she asked because like they wanted her to wear the Princess Leia white stuff without any underwear.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, can I wear underwear?" She's like, "There's no underwear in space."
See,
As if Lucas
Taller
knew.
in space?
Yeah.
get quieter in space, and there's no underwear.
And and you're free balling. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's exactly right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Chewbacca had no underwear on. No one said a thing.
Those astronauts up there floating right now, yeah, everything's free, baby.
There you go. Mark Hamill guessed it on Donnie and Marie once. Maybe it's from that. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it says John Mallow, the costume designer. That was one of his things, his designs.
It might have been one of his things, but it wasn't his design.
You look fabulous.
Remember when they used to have those big numbers in the Oscars in the 70s? They'd have those dance numbers.
They still do?
No, not like they did back then when it was this like
crap
substance-fueled.
Well, I think when Rob Lowe and Snow White sung their duet, that was the end of that.
Oh, it wasn't.
Oh, did they have video of that?
That's when the Oscars would be like 5 or 6 hours long.
In my country, Oscar finds you.
2 a.m. You'd say,
yes.
Is it still on?
All right, it's near midnight on the East Coast, and we're only at best cinematography. That's a shame. All right.
Is that your Bob Hope impression?
Yeah, that was my Bob Hope, exactly. Yeah. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, I'll be screwing Marilyn Maxwell in the back. Boy, I'm dirty now, too. Once again.
Wow.
Time out.
Wow.
Time out.
Wow.
Time out.
Good, I'm glad he's gone.
Jesus, God. I mean, he makes his rules, but he doesn't play by them.
I took myself out. Back off,
He's like
Boogaloo.
Dirty Harry. He's like Dirty Harry.
Yeah, great. Excellent. Do I have another commercial? What do I have here?
Here's a word from Ralston Purina, makers of Batman cereal.
Ooh.
Still in the box.
Oops, wrong guy.
I once bought and ate that cereal.
I'm going to eat it when we
No,
get
you
250
didn't.
subscribers.
You weren't
on
even
my
alive
show.
in 1989.
You weren't born in 89?
I'm only 12, Mitch.
Oh, wow. You're big for your age. I bet the other kids make fun of you, but don't let them put you down.
Wow.
Thank you, Mitch.
They always need that big, strong kid in those groups.
Now, the Batman in there is a Batman bank, a piggy bank,
It is.
right?
It's Michael Keaton on there. Look at that.
Yeah, I have that
Just look.
somewhere. that
I
piggy
still
bank.
have it. This is it. I took it from your house when you were a child.
Wow.
Is it true you're going to eat it if you get
I'm gonna
250?
open it up. Yeah, we're at 120 right now.
Oh, if you're watching out there, subscribe.
Please do.
Let's see Mitch eat that cereal. Let's see what
Kill
happens
himself.
to him.
Free bank.
Wait, so you pledge to eat that if you get a whole bunch of
live on camera. Yep.
Why?
Because we're desperate for ratings because we want to start making that big YouTube money like John does.
Wow.
I ate
so you're gonna film yourself dying by eating a 23-year-old cereal or 50-year-old
because
cereal,
you
whatever it is?
asked for it. I was going to do the jump of the 13 garbage cans at Arnold's, but I don't have a motorcycle.
Arthur Fonzarelli, otherwise known as Fearless Fonzarelli.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good
I
stuff.
once ate the gum out of a 1982 pack of baseball cards.
Oh, that's bad.
There was no
disintegrated, right?
opportunity to win anything for doing so. I just did it, and it was the worst idea. It
could
dissolved.
cut
Yeah, I was going to say it powdered in your... Yeah,
You could
it
shave
powders.
with
Yeah. Because in 1982, it wasn't much better. Then it was like eating blacktop.
Yeah.
It was just like, literally, I mean, it was not... It was barely chewable.
You know,
Were you able to taste anything for the next 5 years after that?
I'm still trying to come back from that. I can still taste it right now.
Everything tastes like stale pink bubble gum. Can you imagine that?
Hey,
It'd be horrible.
You
He
know
goes
Pete
out and buys
Tomasi.
Judi Dench shirts now.
You know Pete Tomasi, right?
No.
Pete
Yeah.
Tomasi did Disney.
Yeah.
The guy that comes into our store all the time.
Yes, exactly. He's been at my show too.
None of us have ever heard of him. No, he doesn't
Okay.
write any popular
Did he
comic book
punch out
stuff.
Buzz Aldrin as well?
Yeah, for being a
So
moon denier.
anyway,
Yes.
Tom Seaver, God rest his soul, just passed away. Mr. Tom Terrific from the New York Mets.
Yep.
My wife didn't know who the hell he was, but I had to tell her. But anyway, Pete Tomasi actually saved in our local papers. They would have, like in the Daily News, they'd give away pinups
Oh, sure.
as like promos and stuff.
We had those.
in the 70s. Yeah, and Tomasi had
His Tom Seaver pinup?
Tom Seaver one from when he was a kid. And I was like, wow, because I saved stuff like that too, and I don't think anybody else ever did. So I wrote to him. I said, did you also have the lunch bags? Because they actually made white lunch bags with black and white drawings of certain people. Like you'd have Hank Aaron and you'd have Willie Mays and Tom Seaver and all that. And Tomasi, yes, I did. I had those too. I still do. That's the stuff like the Batman cereal. I wonder what's going on in our heads that we think if we save it, I don't think it's worth anything.
Well, I think
When
eventually you wind up on an episode of A&E's Hoarders. I believe.
Yes. When I wrote for Boxing Illustrated, Bert Sugar
Yeah.
sent me. A lot of times he wouldn't send us money, but he'd send us like tchotchkes, different things, calendars, whatever. Yeah. And he sent us these. They were either Hostess or another kind of like sweet kind of Dolly Madison company.
Dolly Madison,
and they had football cards on the back of the box.
Okay.
And Keith Olbermann, for his obituary for Bert, mentioned those, and he actually said, he goes, I of course threw it away thinking it was nothing. I really made a huge mistake because literally, like, they sell for $1,000 now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
really?
and it's so funny. And I wrote Olbermann a message on Twitter, and I'm like, that's hilarious. I got those too, and I threw mine out. And I go, and I'm like, we lost a really good friend. And he goes, yeah, one of the best people in the world. And I'm like, yeah, man. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's why I think that Jeff Goldblum pillow might actually be worth something to somebody.
Well,
is it mass produced?
Yes. I believe so. I'm sure you can find it out there. I also have this. This is a Mr. T pillow made out of bed sheets.
That's nice.
From Ryan Johnson, a friend of mine. He created this himself. He did the sewing.
Oh, Ryan Johnson was the director of Star Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
He made the
Ryan
movie.
Johnson?
While he was on the set, he sewed this for me.
As he killed my childhood. That's.
Oh, wow.
Don't start with The Last Jedi.
I was on a podcast this week for a friend, and it was me and Tom Scioli, and we were talking about Kurosawa's influence on the original Star Wars movie, Hidden Fortress, and the like. But we couldn't help it. But yeah, we got into sequel talk. It was pretty funny. What are you gonna do? But I mean, it's interesting. So Scioli likes the sequels, which I don't begrudge anyone who does. But it was very interesting. It was a fun conversation. Good Star Wars conversation.
I'm getting the Rise of Skywalker, the book from the library. It's on its way. I hear there's a lot in there that they didn't put in the movie for some reason.
That always happens. Yeah. That happens a lot with adaptations of screen because they get the original screenplay, and a lot of times on set things change.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, and that is one of the great frustrations I think of the newer era. Because it happened in Star Trek too, with I think both Discovery and Picard. It's like, well, if you read the books, they really explain all that stuff, and it's like they had 10 hours to explain it on TV. Sorry, you don't get a pass. You don't pass go. You don't collect $200. Monopoly rules.
When you go to a movie, Johnny, do you yell at the screen like
I
that?
do. You're wrong.
No, he sleeps. He sleeps through it.
Ordway told me that Superman 4, there's actually like an hour of footage that if they put it in there would make that story better. I go, Jerry, there's not a thing on this earth that would make Superman 4 The Quest for Peace good. I mean, no. If
it was Bizarro instead of Nuclear Man, it might have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it's too bad Artie's not here right now because he will give you a cogent argument of the good things about. No. He still says it sucks.
Yeah.
But he points out a lot of good things that are in the movie, and I can't disagree with the good things that he points out.
Was there a lot?
Well, it's just like there's good Clark Kent stuff going on. Mm-hmm. I do think Clark Kent's awkward relationship with Marielle, look at my eyebrows, Hemingway.
Yeah.
And
Didn't
also
have just one?
Yeah. Well, yeah, my brow. The brow. Yeah.
Really?
A little bit.
What was your sister's name that died?
Margot,
the model, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Margot died, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
But no, it's what are you gonna do?
I don't know, things happen. I just don't. I think it's unsalvageable myself. I think Superman 3 sucks too, but what do I?
Well, they do. They both suck.
Well,
but Artie says, except for the fight against evil Superman and Clark Kent. That's a great scene.
Which is something I showed my kids when they were little, and then my son goes, "So is that other Superman really there, or is he just beating himself up?" And I go, "Geez, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's really there. I think it's all in his head."
Probably. I love that scene where he's at the bar and he's pouring the fifth of that too. But even when he's pouring the fifth of whatever in his orange juice or whatever.
And the girl's
Did you see in the first one when he pulled off the label and it was like cellophane and he threw it on the guy? Did you guys see that?
Too. Yeah.
I love Family Guy when they make fun. What the hell was that?
Do you think? Here's a good question for you. We just had this argument on our other show. Did he kill the 3 villains?
Everyone asked that question.
Well, John Byrne and Ordway had a huge fight about this because Byrne said he did kill them, and that's why Byrne killed the three bad guys in his comic book version of Superman when he said burn and he burns them all there.
Yeah.
But there's deleted scenes where they have like the North Pole rescue team come and arrest them and they take them away in a cage or something. I'm like, huh? So there are stills of that. They did
funny.
Killed. So who knows? I thought he
Well,
killed
if there's
them.
a scene that exists, then that means they didn't die.
Well, that's what just goes back to Franco's original thing. Stuff that's cut out of the movie, does that count? Even though it's been deleted? It's like that's not part of the original movie, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, but if they
right?
Snyder cut it, then it does.
Oh God, no! I thought that was.
Well,
wrong.
yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, that's fine, Mike. God bless you for that opinion,
Yeah.
but I'll be like, yeah, not so much. It's really interesting because Richard Lester is a great filmmaker, but I got to tell you, both Superman 2 and Superman 3, I feel bad because like the Salkins wouldn't pay him for his work on Four Musketeers, the sequel, and as like fix Superman 2 the way we want it, and we'll pay you for that. And then I don't know what the deal was for Superman 3. But God, I mean, Hard Day's Night and all the stuff he did with the Goons
Wow.
around the 60s as well. I mean, he's a great director. But
See, they did that stunt to Richard Donner that they did on the Four Musketeers. They filmed 2 movies at once.
yeah.
But they didn't tell anybody. I mean, the actors didn't suddenly realize, wow, there's a lot of script.
Oh no! Everyone I think knew
Oh, okay.
that they were doing it that way. They just the director wasn't paid for it.
They didn't pay him for it. Oh,
Yeah, and that's what happened. And Donner, I don't know if it was like what happened, but yeah. And I think it was because Brando was being paid for 2 movies, and Donner's like, well, then I should be paid for 2 movies. I'm the one that's working so hard, and it's
Did
like
that bug you that he didn't learn his lines, that he would just have them
No.
written down everywhere and just read them? Like, how
No, but it
easy
was-
is that?
Well, it didn't bother me, but I'm not an actor on set, and I really respect Christopher Reeve kind of exposing Brando at that stage.
Oh,
And-
did he?
Oh, you haven't seen that video? It's actually
Everybody's
swear.
seen that video, Mitch.
I've been too busy watching the Buzz Aldrin.
look
thing.
honestly look it up. He was on Letterman,
Really?
and it's very interesting because Letterman just very innocently is like, wow, what was it like working with Marlon Brando?
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeve very coldly is like, actually very disappointing, and explains and says, yeah, the guy just was not professional, and I was really looking forward to it, but it was kind of a letdown. And it's like,
was Brando dead by then?
no, it was
shit. Oh, really? Wow.
no, this was like pre-accident, obviously. I mean, no, this is
Yeah.
early '80s Chris Reeve,
Yeah, because even on The Godfather, I've seen scenes with what's it, Robert Duvall that has whole scripts on his jacket, and the camera can't see it, but Brando's just reading it off his shirt. I'm like, dude, learn your lines. You're getting paid millions
What
of
about- what
dollars here.
What about The Freshman with Matthew Broderick? Did he do the same thing?
I'm sure he did.
Oh yeah, I heard
But-
that Downey Jr. wears like a little
Earpiece.
earpiece that they feed him the line, and I go, how can you know what you're doing if he's just telling you the dialogue before?
Because
the
he's
scene?
professional. He's been doing this for a lot of years.
Mary Lou Henner said that about Burt Reynolds on Evening Shade.
Oh really?
That like she goes, it was always a party and it was a very nice warm set, but Burt just didn't give a damn anymore.
He just showed up.
And so literally he had an earpiece and stuff
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
He did it. Oh well. I just-
hidden in that great wig he was wearing.
Check this out. I just learned this fact about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Speaking of
don't ruin
learning
it for Mitch.
lines,
Wait,
there
what
was
now?
the
Temple of Doom. And this is
The-
Mitch's subject, so you might already
Exactly.
know. Go ahead.
You may know this already. The shaman who's in the village who you will go to Bangkok Palace. That guy.
Yeah.
He
He
did
no
not-
English.
He didn't speak a lot of English, so
No.
Spielberg he would
Phonetically.
say the words, and then he would repeat them back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
again, we grew up in the 80s and you weren't born till the 2000s.
Oh.
Short Round had that too. He was at my show. That guy's great. Ki Hu Kwan. Same thing. He really didn't get the dialogue, and Spielberg would feed him the lines, and off camera they would do it, and then again and again, and then the right take or the right whatever, they would use that one in the movie because it was like, say it like this, and he would just say it and film it. So.
Yeah,
He was
Michael.
pretty good.
We know you were saying the opening sequence with all the pantomime stuff and all the crazy stuff happening
Yeah.
during construction. Yeah, we're still saying you're wrong, but God bless you. It's
Yeah.
all good.
Is that when one of the guys on the? Oh no, that
Yeah,
was
it's
Super-
the
guy's
title
on the
sequence.
phone and he's laughing. And no, I think that's the fight scene in Superman 2. Remember the?
Oh no! Yeah, that's from Superman 2. But no, the opening of Superman 3 during the credits. There's a lot of like construction near miss accidents going on, and all of that is like what Michael was describing.
Yeah.
I get it.
You remember how that movie happened? Because Richard Pryor was on Johnny Carson and went nuts about how much he loved Superman 2, and he was acting the whole movie out, and the Salklands saw that, and they're like, oh, we should get him for Superman 3. I'm like, really?
Yeah, don't tell Art that. Don't
Yeah,
bring it
really,
up.
like, he hates Richard Pryor because of Superman 3, which I
Really?
love. Yeah, that cracks me up, but yes.
Oh, wow.
He took it that personally, yes.
Mm.
Nothing
Yeah,
Richard Pryor could do can erase the fact that he ruined Superman 3.
He did ruin the Superman. Not that bad video game or Robert Vaughn's bad acting, but sure.
And how about his sister that becomes that weird cyborg?
Robot thing, yeah. That was spooky, though. I remember being creeped out by that. Robert Vaughn was a piece of work. He was kind of a stuck-up little guy.
I believe it's pronounced Vaugana.
I'm a big fan of Robert Vaugana. Thanks, man. That's really nice. I enjoyed talking to Rob. We had a lot of fun, and yes, I actually did pick up some new subscribers. So thank you.
Hey, Jamarp 1, we do a Star Trek one too.
Yeah, why don't you watch that? Hear us yell at each other. We get to
Yeah.
swear on that one.
That's true.
Johnny has the bathroom door open for that one.
I do.
That's how you can tell between pods.
Why do they bother?
Well, it's part of my rating system. If you can see my bathroom, you know I hated the episode.
The killing.
That's how much I
closet.
think of it.
If you can see his bathroom, you know you're allowed to swear. That's
Did
That's
you
right.
guys ever get up and leave a movie?
Toilet humor.
And
Only
it's-
once. Only
Very
once.
infrequent.
Wait, no, seriously, which one was it, John?
To Be or Not to Be, the Mel Brooks
Really?
version. Yes, because I really love the original. It was just too stupid, and it really... I mean, it was near the end,
It's so
but I was
funny
just
you
like,
said that.
let's get out of here. This sucks.
You know who played Hitler in that movie?
No.
Roy Goldman, who was the only guy who was on every single MASH episode because he was best friends with Gene Reynolds, and he used to be on Hogan. Roy was the guy. There always is this background soldier guy on MASH. Like, whenever something would happen, there was like Igor, Roy, and Dennis. There was these three constant.
And, okay, you sure about that name? Because
Roy Goldman was like Mel Brooks' best friend, but he was one of these guys that.
all right, no. I think you got the name wrong. Isn't that Ronnie?
No, it's Roy Goldman.
It's not Ronnie Graham?
No, Ronnie Graham's a different guy. I know who
Okay.
Ronnie Graham is, but
Okay.
Roy Goldman was a weightlifter. He's best friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's one of those people that everybody in Hollywood knows, but he was just behind the scenes type. So no, but anyway, he played Adolf Hitler. After that movie, he quit show business. He said
Why?
he said he felt
Ashamed?
yes, he was exactly. He said he was such a shame playing Adolf Hitler, being of Jewish descent. He said I couldn't work again. He never did another film or anything after that. It's just weird.
That's funny.
But it's what
Thanks,
you just
Jamar.
said, to be
Full
or
of
not to
one.
be, which it's not a bad movie. I'm surprised you walked out of it.
It's stupid. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
We
Hold
can
on, we'll
walk
be right
out,
back
so-
for the guy who just said that he's going to check out. Yes, you should watch Lower Decks because we talk about this every week. Yes,
I like that because the two cartoon chicks are checking out the two cartoon usses.
it's
Yeah,
true.
You didn't put me in that one though.
Well, I got you in the other one. I got you in this one.
Yeah, I know.
So
Sure.
relax, and you're in this
We'll
one.
get there. Oh, there he is.
Oh, that's a good one.
See?
I like that
I
one.
do it for every episode.
Nice. So, Skoke, what movie did you walk out of?
I walked out of Transformers, the movie.
The first,
Really?
is that the original one way back or?
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old no, this is the cartoon
Oh,
one
the
with
cartoon.
the cartoon.
Oh.
yeah
Before
with
or
Peter
after
Col-
they killed spoiler Optimus Prime.
Oh, probably before because I don't remember that at all. I don't understand why I left either. I was very young. I was like maybe 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was like '86. That movie.
Well, you
so-
probably left because you didn't have your parents with you.
right.
Then you realized that and you had to get out of there.
Did you
Mom!
ever see it afterwards and see what you missed?
No, I still haven't seen it.
Oh well, I've never seen it at all, so I
I keep meaning to see it because I'm curious. I mean, it has a great Leonard Nimoy's in it, and
Yeah.
Orson
Yeah.
Welles is a narrator in it
Yeah,
and
he
stuff.
is. Nimoy's in it.
How much am I being paid? All right, let me tell you about Optimus Prime.
Well, that's
Were you a fan
mine.
of the toys, or was there a cartoon show that I don't know? Was there
No,
Transformers cartoon?
there was a
Should've.
cartoon, and but I was more into GoBots, which was like a knockoff of
yeah.
Transformers.
Oh, that's why you walked out.
That's the
Maybe
Kmart of transforming robots.
That's a great episode of The Toys That Made Us when they talk
Yeah.
about the Transformers and the GoBots. and
You
all
were a
that.
GoBots fan. You sat down, Transformers star. You, what the hell is this? And you were out of there.
That's why
This
I left.
sucks.
These aren't, dude. They're not the Rock Lords. Robots that turn into rocks.
Who are these Beach Boys? They're ripping off Jan and Dean. I have never. I mean, walk away. See, that's a Mitch and my joke. Exactly.
Yeah, I got
He
that
goes like,
one.
what?
Man's Curve.
Oh, and that
TV
reminds me.
movie?
I think I blew it. I wanted to record this weekend. Turner Classic Movies is showing amazing rock performance movies. Like late tonight, they're doing Divine Madness, the Bette Midler movie. But they started off tonight with the Tammy Show. Tammy,
if
and
you
that's hold on. The Tammy Show is the Beach Boys, the Rolling Stones, and the amazing thing is the guy that steals the show, 1965, James Brown. And it's great because literally the Stones are so pissed at how amazing James Brown is and totally stole the focus. And
you
because
have-
he was amazing.
If you have HBO now, they have the whole TCM library on there. So can't
They
you
don't have
just
the
watch
whole,
that?
but they have a
They
good
don't?
selection. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Trust me, I know.
Frank,
Hey.
did you walk out of a movie?
I did, but before we get to that, wasn't Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica in the Jan and Dean
Yeah.
TV movie? Who was
Yep,
the other
Dead
guy?
Man's-
Yeah, it was.
Dead Man's Curve.
It was. Is it Richard? Yeah, that's his name. That's It was
Yeah.
Apollo.
Apollo.
Yeah, he played Jan. He played Jan Barry.
Yeah.
He was the mean one, and then he had the accident at Dead Man's
Yeah.
Curve, and he
They
survived, but it really messed him up, like motor skills and it was tough. But he could still sing,
Right.
so they got back together.
Skoke has a comment.
Yeah.
Jan and Dean. Who are Jan and Dean?
They're the people they base Supernatural after.
They they were a duo, a California duo. Their big song was called Surf City. 2 girls for every boy.
Sing it, John.
I just did.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's it's a great TV movie. You
Yeah.
know, I remember they showed that on WGN
something.
in reruns, and the news. They'd show a movie from 7 to 9, and then they'd have the 9 o'clock news locally. And you could hear the anchor accidentally from the studio at the end of the movie go, "Wait a minute, I'm very interested in this story. I want to see how it turns out." Because it's this emotional moment for Richard Hatch playing Jan Barry, who he was in this terrible car accident. And it's ironic because they had a song called Dead Man's Curve before the accident. But those winding California hills with no guardrails and stuff, and literally you can slip off a road and stuff. I mean, it's scary.
Yeah, drive around and hit Ben Vereen. You know,
Happened, yes, it happened to, honestly, Ken Norton the former heavyweight champion had a similar accident like that too. So anyway, yeah, that's part of the story, and he really he had legitimate brain damage and stuff, and had to relearn to speak and walk and everything. And it's so it is a TV movie, and it's TV movie cheesy, but it is a real serious story and an interesting comeback from such a terrible accident.
They should bring back those TV movies. Not like Hallmark.
They're all on YouTube.
Lifetime. Oh no, I mean new ones.
I understand, but
they're
no.
making them. Hallmark is making 40 new Christmas.
Yeah.
My
Well,
wife,
you know that.
She's watching them upstairs, right?
Well, I was going to say, and not only that, Mitch, but your good friend John Wesley Shipp, our own.
He's a recurring role. He got a 5-year contract with this Taylor Cole, who's a very lovely actress on a lot of those movies. So
That's awesome.
a lot of the old Dean Kane's on there.
Boo.
Katrina Law. I'm just saying, a lot of
I know, I'm
old
teasing. I'm
superhero
teasing.
people you'll see. You go,
Sure.
Oh look.
Sure.
You know what I heard? Were you the one that tells me this? A lot of the older actors, like Patrick Duffy, was on one of them, and to get their Screen Actor Guild insurance,
Yeah.
they'll do him a favor and they'll put him on one of these movies or something. And Tim Conway, another one, God rest his soul, he had a lot of health problems, and they put him in one of these movies just to help him get some medical coverage. And then he passed away not too long after that. But
Yeah, 'cause he was messed
it's
up.
really strange how it works. I mean, they have to actively work on a movie to keep their
Yeah, and it's a low.
benefits or
It's a. I mean, I'm in the Screen Actors Guild, and I can
Yeah.
tell you, it's a low threshold. It's not. You don't have to make a lot of money. It's the minimum currently, and each year it's a sliding scale, and they bump it up a
Yeah.
little bit more. But currently, you can make the second tier, which is still very good insurance, and make less than 20,000 in acting money, in SAG money. And so it's truly, and especially now that we're in our middle age and starts, as I always like to say, stuff starts falling off, and you don't realize it. Wait a minute, that used to be on there, and I used to actually use that. Not anymore.
Penis.
Exactly, I didn't say that.
Oh.
Anyway,
Is that what happened?
wait a minute. I think that's a timeout for Franco. There you go.
Yeah,
Very good.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
I didn't know.
No,
It's like volleyball. We all rotated.
Right. No, so that's why, like Bernie Capel, that I talked to when you had him on your show, he gets a part on HBO's
Silicon Valley and Mom.
Yeah.
He also did Mom.
80-something years old.
Yeah, but it's and I'm sure even for those guest star roles, that's a nice chunk of change and likely will cover your minimum. Yeah. And that's like the old the guy used to be on Danny Thomas's sitcom who played his agent, Sid Melton. Great old character actor. You'd recognize him immediately if you know 50s and 60s and 70s things. Mm-hmm. In the 90s, one of the Golden Girls producers was like contacted by an older comedy writer, and it's like, hey, can you like give Sid Melton a part? That's an old people show. And they did, and he played Estelle Getty's, Sophia, the old lady, played her dead husband like as a ghost. But it was Sid Melton, and it's like one of the last things he did, and it was so he could qualify. And that's why like all those great actors in the 70s would do Love Boat or really bad horror movies and stuff, like Schlock, and you'd be like, what the hell's that person doing? It's like, they're making sure their insurance is still good, because they need it.
Speaking of topical news, Mom, the show Mom,
yes,
Anna Faris is exiting before the 8th season.
Yeah, I saw that tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, she's leaving early.
Holy cow. That's interesting.
Well, I think
Isn't
also
she the
because
star
I've been.
of that show?
Is it the final season?
Well, no, I don't know if it's the final season, but I watched that show with my wife because we enjoy that show. But in the beginning, it was all about her being a single mom and her dealing with her mom and her kids. And then slowly they wrote the kids off the show, so it's just her and her mom.
Right.
And then slowly it's become like the Allison Janney show, which she's very funny. Yeah. But I said to my wife, I said, lately it's become more about Allison Janney.
Oh, interesting.
Anna Faris. So like, when she said that, when I read that today, I wasn't surprised.
Are they going to still call it Mom? That's like when Penny Marshall was still doing Laverne and Shirley, and it was really just Laverne.
Yeah.
She
Allison Janney is still Mom. She's still Mom's mom. Mom's mom.
Let's get Tony Danza on there.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, can we change it to Laverne and Tony? Is that possible? Can Mom be called Tony?
No, he can't do it. He's going to be doing a Who's the Boss reboot.
What's he doing?
Oh,
that's right, though. Yeah. Yeah, can we change to Tony's the Boss? Is that possible?
Mona
died.
Let's just settle it once and for all. Tony's the boss.
They're bringing back the entire cast, even Mona.
You gotta watch The Good Son, right? Good Son, wasn't that what it was called? Oh, Good Cop. Good Cop.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it. That was a Netflix show that Tony Danza did with Josh. What's his name?
Jamel.
Josh Groban.
Josh Groban, the singer.
Josh Groban.
The singer.
Oh, okay.
Hey, why don't you sing a song? No, he doesn't sing in the show, though.
But
which is a missed opportunity.
Tony Danza.
Yeah, ironically, he makes a show with Josh Groban. I'm going to sing a song.
Yeah, no, he does. He was at a convention up here. He grabbed a ukulele, and he just started singing at his booth for like a half an hour. It was actually pretty good for...
Skulk has shown us the CD and all the fine tracks on one of the Tony Danza discs.
Oh, there is such a thing?
Danza sings.
There are
two of them. Wow,
yeah, the first one came out in 2002. It's called The House That I Live In. Tony Danza.
Wow.
Yeah, he does standards.
And then 16 years later, they finally sold all 800 of those CDs, and then they had to come out with another one.
Oh.
Squiggy has like really bad MS.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's sad.
Yeah,
he still does voiceover stuff. He's still able to do voiceover.
Yeah,
stuff.
he plays a penguin
in one of those movies in Happy Feet or whatever.
No, in that Oswald show on Nickelodeon for.
I thought you meant Harley Quinn. Oh.
No, stop it! Come on.
Oh, Wayne wants to know what you're drawing, Francis.
Oh,
paycheck.
I can't show you.
A paycheck.
So that looks like when you have to go for a colonoscopy, you have to drink that Go Lightly stuff. That's what, for a minute, I thought that's what you were doing, but you're too young for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that is.
Colonoscopy health is important, though. Remember that. It's good to check.
Hey, Chadwick Boseman can tell you that, sadly.
Not joking about that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did my colonoscopy without any anesthesia, though, but that's another story.
What are you, John Wayne? What the
Yeah,
hell?
I
you-
did. I laid on my side, and they just put the 6.
Put it right up me. Exactly.
Timeout. Put him in a timeout. That's ridiculous.
No, that's health issues, dude.
Yeah, it's a
Trying to be
public
serious.
service message
That's
for
right.
the
You're a
old
health
say.
issue.
It sounded
Okay.
like you did it yourself, though. Is that
No,
what happened?
my wife said I enjoyed it too much. That's why. The doctor had a sense of humor. As they're going through, they have this big screen in front of you, and they're going through your lower intestine, and he's looking for stuff.
And we'll be right.
So yeah, then he found my car keys, and that was the end of that.
I love how seriously she's looking at that. Like she's really taking it in.
Yeah,
Like
know.
the camera on my.
that's like this guy.
That
You know
was
who's
like
hair-
Jim Starlin.
You know whose hair looks better than that guy? Is Mitch's. Mitch's.
Yeah.
I think he looks like Rucka.
Look at that.
But why are they applauding at the painting? Painting's not doing anything.
Because there's a picture of you.
Yeah, but still, like, do you applaud a painting?
I do when you're not around.
If maybe if the artists were there, maybe if Greg Rucka were played by me, I guess. But if that were Tony Danza, I certainly would applaud.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I never liked Laverne's father. He always scared me.
Oh, I love Frank
Foster.
Yeah, Phil Foster was amazing.
Remember his look changed on the show? He went from like looking normal to like he had a mustache and like he had plastic surgery like halfway through the show. And
Oh, I didn't notice if he had plastic surgery, but I know he grew the mustache.
Yeah, he did
something
because
happened.
he was attacked by a Yeti and he had a,
Oh,
a
really?
thing. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he's funny. I always thought he was funny.
Yeah, always bothered me. And that wife of his.
Betty Garrett, who was she was married to, oh God, what was his name?
Mr. Garrett?
Shut up. He was in. He plays Al Jolson in the Jolson story. Larry Parks, and they were both blacklisted because Larry Parks named names during the 50s for the McCarthy.
comic.
era.
Names.
Yep. And even though, he was a cooperative witness, but it backfired because then everyone's like, "Well, you're a snitch," and he never
wow.
worked again. And she didn't work. He really, what's his face? Well, I guess she was on All in the Family before that. Betty Garrett.
Oh, okay.
She played Irene DePesto.
Well.
Irene.
Oh, was that her? Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
That was
And
her?
but yeah, she was like blacklisted as well as her husband because of his snitching. Pretty lousy.
Snitches go into ditches, man.
Girls.
Not
funny
unlike
business.
Charlotte Ray, who I loved. She was
Was
amazing.
there any comics communist scandal in the 50s that you know of?
I'm sorry.
Besides
Did they ever
McCarthy
find
stuff?
any like communist sympathizers in the comic book industry? I mean, I know
Oh,
was
in
Hollywood,
comic
but-
books.
Yeah, I'm just curious because you know what, Chaykin might know that because I can't.
Yeah,
imagine-
that's a Howard question. You're
I
right. Yeah, I
can't
don't know.
imagine that there wasn't some.
Maybe Howard's
writers, Yeah, that were
I
going
doubt it.
out there. I
I
doubt,
doubt
it.
it. I'm sure Howard would have turned. I don't know what the hell these guys are talking about. I don't
Probably
give a damn.
asleep by now.
No, it's West Coast. It's 7:15.
He's an old man.
Yeah, but he's not like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I could say that because he and I are like this.
Howard's awesome.
That's me, and that's him, right there.
Well, why are you doing
They
that?
applaud the professor for his insight. The painting of John holding a tin can phone symbolizes the protagonist's struggle. I like it.
It's deep.
Those commies sure love their secrets.
That's right, Addis Ababa. Are we going to Addis Ababa, Mr. Luthor?
Mr. Luthor.
He's still with us, but he's not in good health. Ned Beatty. I tried
Oh,
to
isn't
get
he?
him-
That's a shame.
No, I
Did you
tried
try to get him?
to the show, and his son said, "Nah." He says, "I can't do it." Yeah.
That's disappointing. Richard Widmark in the 90s, we tried so hard to get on the score because he was living in Chicago and was
Yeah.
born in Chicago.
Yeah.
And he just was like, nope, not interested. And then we're like, oh, but we love your movies, man. Come on.
Paul Sorvino was an interesting guest at a Comic-Con. He just sat. They brought out an easy chair, like a big wingback, and he just sat there. And I don't think he knew why he was there, but it was just bizarre to see
Which
him there.
it wasn't your show; it was a different show.
No, it was a show up in Massachusetts called Super Mega Fest, and Billy Zabka and Ralph Macchio were behind me on the pipe and drape curtain, and they kept taking their coffee cups and garbage and putting it underneath the pipe and drape curtain, so it was popping up on my side of the booth, and I kept taking it and putting it back under the curtain on their side, so they throw their own garbage out, and this kept going back and forth. And
Did you have a karate style fight with
I didn't know it
Macchio
was
at the end?
them. And I said, geez, what is going on over there? And throw your own damn stuff away. I actually swore more than that. And the curtain pulled back, and it was Macchio and that blonde kid. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. We thought there was no one here. I go, well, the garbage can's over there. I'm not your garbage.
That reminds me, especially now that Cobra Kai is on Netflix.
It's huge. It's a great show.
Oh, I know. I watched the first 2 free ones on YouTube years ago, and I
Wait,
kept
there's a
meaning to
Cobra
get back
Kai
to
show?
it. What's that?
There's a Cobra Kai show?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's on
Cobra Kai?
YouTube. I stayed up all night and watched the whole second season. It was
What's
so
it
good.
about?
It's
Do you really
about-
not know this, Francis?
Yeah, it's been all over the news, Johnny. What do you not pay attention?
No,
See,
but
I
it's a
turned into
good
him.
show.
I yelled. Did you see
it's
that
about
stuff?
guys that can't get over the 80s are over. You know how that is.
See that? Yeah, I
It's-
yelled at
It's
him.
a good show. No, I was going to say that that's out there.
Turn the tables.
I understand. The Boys season dropped.
Yeah.
Mulan
I
is
gotta watch
on.
it, yeah.
Mulan's on Disney Plus.
But you got to
Yeah,
pay
so
for
let
that.
me ask you a question about
Not paying
Mulan,
for that.
right? You pay $30 for Premier Access, which means you can download it onto your devices and watch it as many
Yeah.
times as you want. And then in
Yeah.
December, they're going to release it. Now,
For
the
free,
$30 Premiere, is that just for Mulan, or is
Yes.
it $30 for the Premier Access, and then you
No.
get all the movies that they release on there?
No, it's just for Mulan.
What other movies are on the premiere level?
Well, that's what I meant. None so far.
Nothing.
Just that
Right.
one.
Unless
No.
they do Black Widow.
Yeah, but again, if
That's about it.
you've
See,
got
I
a
would do it for that, but I just wasn't sure if it was for all the movies that they're going to be doing, or just for Mulan, and then just for Black Widow, and then.
But
you know
it's
what I mean?
if it's a family of 4, obviously
Right.
that's a
No,
deal.
I get
That's a
it.
bargain.
I get it. I
Yeah.
just was. I legitimately was asking.
I understand.
because I didn't know if it was
Mm-hmm.
one or the other.
No, I understand. No, I'm okay. And that by the way raises another small controversy that I have to say I've changed my mind about, and it involves comics, and I want to know what everybody's opinion was.
You're wrong.
I guess Boom. You probably already heard. Did this comic book with Keanu Reeves.
Yes, Berserk.
And it, like they put it out as a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe, I forget which.
No, it was a Kickstarter. It made 250,000 in 8 hours.
Yeah, it's already at 375,000 currently, or
Wow.
possibly more.
Probably more, yeah.
And certainly there are a lot of independent creators
yeah.
who complained. And while I understand that initial response, and also their further complaint was that Boom was not one of the better paying comic publishers, to say the least.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I understand the frustration, but by the same token, I don't think supporting an independent creator's Kickstarter. I don't think Keanu Reeves and Boom doing a Kickstarter is going to cut into an independent person's Kickstarter campaign. I really think they're two different animals, and I think in this age of, as we're doing right now, online media versus television and stuff like that, the people that support Word Balloon are not, and the people that also spend money on Hulu and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. At the end of the day, I don't know. Again, initially, because years ago Archie proposed something similar, and at the time I'm like, well, that's not cool.
They got lambasted for it.
Oh yeah, no, and honestly, I was a little like, that's not cool.
Yeah. I still feel that way, but it's Keanu Reeves, and everything. I love the guy, and by all accounts, he's like a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I love the guy. He's given away millions for cancer research. He gave away basically 70 or 80% of his take from the Matrix movies to the effects and prop department and stuff like that, because all the guys that work for minimum wage and stuff like that. I think he's done so many good things that this I don't begrudge it at all, because I know that it would probably go to the creators and the creation of the book and not so much him.
Yeah.
But if it were anyone else, I think I might have an issue.
I think it's just like any other Kickstarter. Sorry, but just real fast. That it's no different than, okay, I'm not whether I support this or not. It's an individual choice. I think everything is going to be on its own merit.
And I also like it for another reason. I'm sorry, Mitch, but because Keanu is bringing. Keanu, by the way, means wind over water.
Yeah.
But he's bringing a lot of sets of eyeballs that wouldn't necessarily be in comics.
Sure.
Or on comics.
Sure.
Right. And I was going to say, Garney and Matt Kinn are good talents on their own, so they would have done a great book no matter what, and his name just added to it. I looked at it, too, and I said, I would have picked it up because I've known Garney since college, and I'm like, I always get Ron stuff, but that's an added bonus to it. And the thing of it is, Stallone worked with Graham Nolan, and I think it was Chuck Dixon on that, what is it, The Expendables Go to Hell? Last year.
Oh, I didn't know about that. No, I didn't know about that at all.
They did a Kickstarter too. It was going to be for a proposed movie, a fourth Expendables movie, but instead of making a big budget thing with Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they just turned the idea into a comic, and Graham Nolan drew it, and they did a Kickstarter, and it made like $500,000 in a day because Stallone's name was attached to it.
Right.
And I mean, if you're a fan of Stallone and you like comics like Expendables and there's enough to go around for everybody. I don't see what the big problem is. You don't want to do it, don't buy it. If you want it, then go buy it. It's not going to hurt you.
What do you think, Scott?
Speaking of Keanu Reeves, I received a gift in the mail the other day.
You have no opinion on the subject. All right, thank you.
Oh, look at that.
Stallion.
It's
Wild Stallion. That's cool.
Nice.
Did you see the new movie?
magnetic.
Did you pay for that?
I paid for it. Yeah,
I still haven't seen it. How is it?
It was $25. I enjoyed it. I was a fan of the first two movies.
Sure.
It was a big part of my childhood, so I've always had a affection for those movies and those guys. So I watched it and I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Pretty good,
Yeah.
All right, text Avery. I'll be back.
Oh man.
Are you
But
familiar
did you,
with
What
Tex
happened
Avery?
to him? He's got to go to the bathroom?
I never talked about the movie I walked out of, first of all, and then you got to tell us about.
You started
We'll get
talking
to it in a
about
second. We'll tell it right before Ghost Stories. But Scoot, what were you going to say about what you felt about the Kickstarter, Keanu Kickstarter?
Oh, I agree. I think there's plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to do it, fine. I heard he kicked in some of his own money for the new Bill and Ted movie too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See,
Well,
I got
He's a nice guy.
I got a
he rides
crush
the
on him.
subway train. And
Yep.
2 years ago, we were trying to get him for Terrificon. He was all set, but you know why he couldn't go? He had to go to Italy to film John Wick 3.
No way.
He was not going to take a private jet. He was actually going to just take the train in from Manhattan to the I was like, are you kidding me, Keanu? We'll pick him up in a car. They're like, no, that's okay. He'll just take a train up. I go, it's mind-boggling to think of a guy on that level of Hollywood just sitting on a Metro North train into Connecticut.
It amazes me.
Yeah.
It reaffirms my faith in humanity, and I aspire to be like Keanu.
Yeah.
One of the stories I read was one of his coworkers. They were driving to the set. I don't know if it was for The Matrix or a different movie.
Yeah.
And they were driving, and it was their first day on set, and they were driving to the studio lot, and they got out of the car, and I can't remember who it was, but they said that when they got there, Keanu jumped out of the car and basically was jumping up and down, saying, "We get to make a movie. We get to make a movie. We get to make." He was like so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
He loves movies. He loves what he does. He's just a good human being.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you heard that story about when he was on a passenger plane and it had to be they had to come down in another town in California.
Yeah.
And people realized that he was on the flight, and instead of calling a limo or something like that, he took the bus with all of them.
He
wound up
with
taking
everybody. I saw that.
yeah, he wound up taking photographs with everybody.
Yeah.
I just it was awesome. If you get him to the show, I want to meet that guy. He's my hero.
Yeah. He was only going to do one day, and he didn't want as much money as like a Stallone or Schwarzenegger because we had priced everybody out. I can't tell you the numbers, but it was surprisingly low compared to what these other guys wanted. I was like, oh my. And when I said to him, you know why they didn't want to get him? I'll tell you this part. They said, well, his demo is an older crowd. So do you really think that's going to bring in young people? And that was just like we were talking about that for days. We were like, are you kidding me? Because my wife wanted to see him, and then when I asked my young kids,
never mind your wife, I wanted to see him.
John Wick had not really taken off yet, and my young sons knew him from John Wick movies. They didn't know Bill and Ted and all that because they were teenagers. But I think he has the Matrix. He has one of those wide appeals, I think that would bring in everybody. I mean, he would really have standing room only
Well,
if he was at a con.
he's like Hollywood royalty at this point. He's been in so many movies and so many productions, and he's
He did a
spanned.
video game a couple years ago. Do you remember that? There was a video of him
Yeah.
on top of the stage, and he's like
You're
talking to everybody.
breathtaking.
Yeah. Somebody was like, "I love you." No, I love you, and it's just like,
Yeah, no, he said you're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Keanu fan. I love
Yeah.
Keanu.
Was there a period of time when he wasn't that big though? Like his career was kind of like. Do you think that's why he's such a nice guy? Because he saw it like headed down, bottom.
I think he was always that way. I from things that I've
You
read,
think so?
I think he's always been very nice and kind, and he's had a lot of stuff in his life that he's had. Look, I'm pitching Keanu to everybody.
No, I'm just curious. Was his career like in jeopardy at one point? Then he did the Speed movie because he wasn't like an action guy,
I don't
And then
think
he had
so.
like a resurgence.
That was a big shift though when he did Speed,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
before that everybody knew him as the whoa
yeah, right. That was
guy,
Alley Boy guy. Yeah.
and then he did that and it was like whoa, totally
And then-
different Keanu.
All right, we got to get
remember
off the Keanu subject because then I'm just going to
it's-
Jones on it all
we'll
night.
never. But the ratings are going up as soon as you say the word Keanu. An angel gets its wings. It's like magic. Yeah.
We
So
just
the
got
mo-
20
So what
viewers.
movie did you walk out of, Franco?
There was another one. I can't remember what I walked out of because it was just so bad. But when my son was much younger, we're like, oh, let's take him to see an animated movie. So
Yeah.
I knew nothing about Veggie Tales at all.
Ooh.
And we went to
Those
go
are
see
like
Veggie
religious
Tales.
vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah, and there, there's a piece of celery talking about God, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need my son to learn about God from a piece of celery.
Yeah.
And we got up and we walked out, and I have a very strict code that if I paid for this friggin' thing, I'm going to sit
Right.
through it, whether it's
Right,
good or
right.
bad. I'm going to sit through this thing. But
Right.
we had paid for the Veggie Tales movie, and I'm like, I'm not watching this. And there was one other movie, I can't remember. It was so bad that I'm just like, I'm not watching this, and I walked out. But those are the only two movies, and I can't remember what the other movie was.
I walked out of Cool World. Remember that one? Kim Basinger and Brad Pitt.
Ooh, I got in trouble because of that movie.
It was on my birthday. I always see a movie on July 10th, my birthday, and I went to it with my friend Carl. It was so bad. I said, this sucks. And we got up and we walked out, and Pinocchio was playing next door, the Disney movie. We sat and watched that one. I was like, there you go. But
So
why did
when
Cool World get you in trouble?
Well, I had my first comic shop when that movie came out, and they had a poster of the Kim Basinger,
Yes.
Holly.
I have the
character.
poster. Yeah.
And the poster said Hollywood, would
Yes.
you?
Yeah.
And I put that up in the window of the comic shop, and I had this mother come in and yell at me for 10 straight minutes.
Wow.
About it, and that I need to take it down right now, and how could I be doing this, and the young impressionable minds, and I told her to get out of my store.
Oh.
So
I still have that poster.
because
That was
the one thing that
1990.
happens is if you tell Frankie he has to do something, Frankie usually doesn't do that because he doesn't appreciate being told what to do.
That happened to me in Catholic school every day. Those nuns, they would tell you to do stuff, and then you would do it just to spite them because they were telling you that you couldn't do something.
All right, we're getting into a whole another psychological issue that we can't with you right now.
Franco, I didn't know
guys
you
brought me
owned
on
another.
here. I just finished my podcast. We did an hour and a half on Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I went upstairs to go watch TV, and my wife's watching Hallmark. And Johnny says, "You want to go talk about Star Trek?" I said, "Get me the hell out of here!" So I came downstairs. So
Well, what was that, Scott?
I didn't realize that you owned another comic store before.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was my first one. It was way back in the day, in the 90s, and everything. I did everything wrong. I listened to the other partners when I wanted to do things one way. I'm like, oh, these guys know what they're doing because they had other stores, and I quickly realized that it was all not true. The things that they said and the things that happened, and it all kind of went crashing down. And I said, you know what? That's never going to happen again.
yeah.
So
Was this after the bubble burst in the 90s or before?
it
the
was
comic book?
Death of Superman around that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's 92.
So I had the Death of Superman in my store, but I closed soon after that. Just because there was a whole range of issues. But I said if I ever open up another one,
Yeah.
and now 3 stores later and 8 years later, I think I fixed those problems. because this time around I'm like, nope, I'm doing it my way. I'm going to do it this way.
Did you stop reading comics when you owned a store?
No, I technically I still read comics.
Yeah.
However, I haven't read anything in the longest time, and I have piles and
Yes, they're all over here too.
I have the three Jokers sitting like about 5 feet away from me on a pile of comics that I'm never.
I read that last week because Ordway got his. He said, "Did you read it yet?" I'm like, "Let me do it." It took me about 20 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
No, I didn't read it, and I've been like, I don't know if I mentioned this on the other podcast, but the pandemic and closing down and school. At the end of school in March, and then all the work that I've been doing, I did like a tremendous amount of work because that's how I kind of worked through anxiety. So like I wrote basically 4 graphic novels, and I wrote a novel, like an actual prose novel, all in like 4 months. And besides all the pictures I've drawn and stuff like that, it's been good. But now getting back into the school thing, which is a whole nother issue.
Is Suntress in your novel?
No, I wanted to sell. Why would I put him in there? No.
He's so high strung.
I like that Johnny's not here, so he can't put up any comments from anybody.
Did he have his his what do you call colostomy bag explode or something? It was just like he's
he could be having an issue.
Like,
maybe he locked himself in the bathroom and he can't get out.
I heard Tex Avery and he ran. Is that like code? Is that like a safe word or something? But,
yeah, you missed a commercial that was made about Tex Avery.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Franco,
personal problems.
How would you explain that story, Tex Avery?
How would I explain it like this? Tex Avery was a cartoonist. You know who he is, right?
I know who he is, yeah.
He was famous for not leaving his drawing table to relieve himself. He would just hold it in.
Oh.
And then later on in life, he had issues because he had to wear things. Yeah.
Yes.
He had to wear something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I have a story about a famous artist that you might know, being a fan of Broadway plays and such, but I don't want to get into his name. But he also had problems with bodily parts, and he would just go buy
put it in the chat.
Multiple pairs of pants.
Yeah.
And he would just defecate in the pants and throw them out in the garbage and just put a new pair of pants on. And he would just sit at his drawing table.
Wow. I didn't know Matthew McConaughey was on Broadway.
No, but when I found out who it was, and I had met the guy a couple times, I was like, I shook his hands. And it was like, oh,
text me who it is. I need to know who it is now.
Yeah, man.
I will tell you who it is.
Let it go.
If I put it up now, everybody.
No, text me privately.
I don't want to see it. It just goes across the entire internet. Oh my God, that guy!
No, text me privately. Don't do that.
I will. All right. I'll send it to you right now.
That's awful.
Oh, yeah,
I'll read it on the air as soon as
No, do not. No, I'm not going to send it to you now.
No, I won't.
No, I'll wait.
You have to send it to me. I'm going to text your wife.
Whatever. Yeah. There's some things you find out about people and you're like, oh, really? God.
We were talking about comic shops.
Yeah.
I just found out today, I'm reading a biography about George Lucas, and after American Graffiti came out,
it's pronounced graffiti.
Yeah.
Graffiti.
He owns a comic shop. Are you going to say this?
Yes. Does he still own one, or was it just
it's gone out of business? It was over in New York, and he was part owner because I lost $100 bet to John Cimino about this on another podcast because he tried telling me about it. I said, "You're crazy. Lucas didn't own anything," and sure enough, he turned out he did own a comic book shop, and it began with an S. It was based on an old comic book character.
Star Wars.
No. And
Star Wars.
I can't think of it. But is it that?
Was it Star Wars all one word? Star Wars.
No. I can't think of the name of it,
like
but it was in New York. And he also bought a lot of artwork. That's why he got into it too, because he was getting artwork from this guy. SK.
Star Wars.
No. But I just listened to that biography. If that's the one you're talking about, it's like just came out. It's got a guy with 3 names wrote this thing.
I think so. Yeah.
George Benson Lucas.
No, I don't. It's George Walton Lucas, buddy. Get it right. That's his middle name.
Star Wars.
I got it right here. I'm going to grab it.
And not Secret Stash. It's something like that, though.
Oh, that's in Red Bank.
Yeah, that's Kevin Smith's thing.
All right, everybody's leaving the show. It's just down to me.
It's just us. I'm out of here. George Lucas's comic store is called
Star Wars.
I'm gonna lose another bet.
There it is.
Mitch.
A life.
Is this
Brian J.
Yeah,
Jones.
I listened to it. I the audio. I didn't read the book because I can't read anymore. I've noticed my eyes have gotten bad. Have yours gotten bad, Franco? Like when I go to draw,
No,
I literally take,
I don't wear
No,
these. I wear
I
these because they
take
make me look good.
I take my glasses off now when I draw close up because for some reason it's easier
I need
to
them for
see that
both.
way.
I need it for distance and here. And wait, I want to get into why you can't read anymore. You like forgot how?
No, it's like certain comics. I swear the type has gotten smaller, and I think I'm going crazy, but it's like I could read older books from the Bronze Age and stuff, and they're fine to read, but the newer stuff, I swear that the font has gotten smaller, and I'm like, secret.
Interesting. I like that both of you guys are looking at your phone and not talking to me at all.
Exactly.
Did you
Don't worry.
break out of your bathroom? Ooh,
Yeah,
we're
I was
allowed to
locked in
swear
there.
now. We're allowed
We
to
were
swear
thinking
now. The
about
bathroom
that.
door's open.
And also, yeah, exactly here. By the way, there you go. There it is.
We all stopped to do a 10-minute reading break, so there was a lot of dead air.
I had the speaker on. Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
I expect to get the text of that creator who had to have many pairs of pants.
I don't want to tell you. I'll tell you off air.
I understand. I understand.
Secret Snipe.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Lucas's comic book.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
He was
Star Wars.
he was a silent partner in it, and I think I'm gonna say Phil Seuling was part of that too. And then the direct market came.
That
out
is a
from-
famous store that I have heard
It
of.
was a
Secret
famous
Snipe.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
No, I
It's
understand.
called Star Wars.
That's not called Star Wars.
I was
he
on-
owned all the artwork from every Star Wars comic. He got first pass at it. So if you drew a Star Wars comic for Dark Horse or Marvel, the part of the contract was Lucas got to look at the art first, and if he wanted to keep it, he would just keep it. If
Good for
not,
him.
then they'd give it back to the artist. But I'm like, wow. And he's got tons of artwork. I heard he's a big collector.
That's cool.
So there you go.
Why not?
Yeah, it's your character.
Exactly. You're welcome.
It's good to be the king.
Yeah, I believe his response was, "You're welcome for allowing these comics to be made and then
David
employing
Mandel
people."
bought the cover from Star Wars 1, the Chaykin cover,
That's cool.
for an obscene amount of money.
I'm sure.
Who bought it?
Dave Mandel, from VP.
Is Roy? I mean, you've had more conversation with Roy than I have, Mitch. Is because Howard really waves off like, "Yeah, I did it, big deal," whatever. Oh, hold on.
Right there.
All right, again, make sure that you interrupt me with like stuff while I'm trying to ask you a question. Good
That's
idea.
That's when he would call himself Howie.
We don't care. Anyway, the point is, does Roy like wave off doing the Star Wars adaptation the way Chaykin does?
No, just Howard does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that about Howard.
No, because it wasn't his best work. Because he
Right.
just done all that stuff. Was it Star Reach? He did Cody Starbuck.
Yeah,
He did
yeah.
all that, and he did really good work. And then
Right.
this, he wasn't even allowed to get stills from the movie to
I know.
draw. So he had no references. That's why they look so bizarre, because he has no idea what the stormtroopers everyone looks like. And then
Oh, that's nice.
everyone comes up to him with the book, like, "Oh, please sign this." He goes, "That's like one of the worst art jobs I ever did in my entire career," and people love it. So.
Forgive me, I'm going to acknowledge the Richard because he is one of the moderators for Rob Burnett's YouTube channel, and was very sweet when I was doing that show with Rob the other night. He kind of was like a de facto moderator in the chat, and like reminding people, "Hey, if you really like this, subscribe," and all this other stuff. Really nice guy. And so thank you, man. It's cool. What else do we have here? Lucas owns a lot lot of other comic art. Yes, I knew that, Wayne.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
we just talked about
And-
that, Wayne. Way to type slow.
Super sniped. Yes, thanks, Chris. That's my guy, Chris.
I didn't realize how big in the comics George was.
Oh, yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
He's a big Carl. Is it Carl Barks that did the Howard Scrooge and all that? Yeah, that's what
Scrooge
he really
McDuck,
liked.
yeah.
Scrooge McDuck. I was like, really? I never thought those were that like. How different can a Scrooge comic book be from one after another?
Yeah, but there are certain comics for certain eras, and that was the prime of Dell and Gold Key and Western and all that stuff. And they did have great artists, and they did have great writers.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. He has
Russ
a-
Manning.
He bought a couple of the covers. Can't think of the artist. But
Sure.
it was Carl Barks. Yeah.
Well, and especially when the books were coming out of Dell and Western,
Yeah.
they were an LA-based company, so they would get a lot of like animators to work on their books.
Uh-huh.
So like it was even more true to form, coming from people that actually worked for Warner Brothers or Disney and stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's all in that book that Scoot's got there too. It talks about he was really a huge fan of Walt Disney and went to the Disneyland parks and all that. You see all the stuff about Lucas, and then
Yeah.
it all makes sense years later when he sells the company off to
Marvel.
Disney and stuff, because it's kind of like from
Well,
the
I
get-go.
met him, and that's Scope, not Scoot up there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm
also,
sorry, what I said.
I met him at Universal Orlando at the parks.
yeah?
'Cause he has a house or a condo on property of one of the things where he would go with his family all the time. And I've told this story before, but I was with a friend of mine at the we were sitting there at the Jaws ride, just kind of like mellowing out, having a drink, because we were at the Universal, and George Lucas walks by, and he walks by with a couple of people, and I said to my friend, I said, "Holy crap, that's George Lucas!" And my friend didn't believe me. He goes, "I bet you $10 it was him."
Yeah.
Ran up to him, and it was him. And Artie was supposed to come down the next day. I was so excited. I called my wife. I'm like, oh my god, you're never gonna guess who I just met.
Yeah.
And she goes, who? And I said, George Lucas. And she goes, who? And I'm like, I got to call you back. And I hung up on her. I called up Art, and he was appropriately excited, because that was the response that I was.
Yeah, wives are never impressed by that. My wife tonight called Mark Hamill Luke Hamill. She goes, "What's that picture of that Luke Hamill you put up with that gold outfit on?" I go, "Who the hell is Luke Hamill?" She goes, "I don't know."
Dorothy Hamill's brother.
Yeah, I was like.
Also, just full disclosure, she texted me during the show and asked me to ask about your hair again.
Oh, she's just been breaking my stones left and right. Because I'll tell you, ever since COVID started, I started noticing, and this is true facts about Mitch, that my hair was coming out in clumps when I'd go to wash my hair. And I'm like, what is happening here? And somebody said it's stress. It's, it could be a reaction to something. But I'm like, what is happening? My whole family has nice big thick heads of hair, and I'm losing it. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wayne. Sorry.
I saw it last week. That was a good movie. Ordway and I went to the movie theaters. New Mutants was good.
I forget who I was just talking to, and they're like, yeah, not really.
Yeah, it wasn't like the greatest ever told, but it was better than any DC movie I've seen.
Wow.
Recently.
Wow.
Was it Jamie Farr you were with, Johnny? Yeah,
Hey!
I didn't really like it.
I was in the New Mutants. I played.
Actually, Ordway wanted to go see Tenet tonight. I said, wow, we're really pushing our luck. We went to the movies last week, and now you want to go see Tenet tonight.
Did he see it on a standard screen, or did he see it? I'm hearing that it really is amazing on IMAX. Yeah, Tenet.
No, it's the IMAX theater is about 10 minutes from us. That's where we see all the movies there.
Cool.
And, dude, you walk into the theater. They don't take your ticket anymore. Because you buy your ticket ahead of time on your phone, so you just pick it up. And I said, oh, do you need this? Oh, we don't touch this. We don't touch your ticket. So we walk in. They have one candy bar station open. There's no more pizza. There's no hot dogs. All that's all gone. And then you sit in your assigned seat. They have the 2 seats next to you empty, and the 2 seats on the other side empty. So you have like that 6 feet apart.
What about the row ahead of you?
Yeah. Well, no. There's space because these IMAX chairs go back a bit. So there's about 4 or 5 feet. You had to wear your mask through the whole thing, unless of course you're eating or drinking something. And as soon as the movie's over, they put the house lights on, so there's no watching the credits and stuff like for an after scene, because they rush in and they start disinfecting the theater.
Wipe down the room.
Wiping the chairs down as soon as the show's over.
Good.
And I mean, you got to try to get back somehow to normal life. Yeah. And I don't know how much Tenet's going to make, but it's not going to make $500 million. I don't think. Maybe I think New Mutants made $7 million last week.
I haven't read the Mark Waid, Neil Adams Fantastic Four yet. Have you guys?
Yeah, I picked it up the other day.
How is it?
Mitch, was it you that sent me a picture?
The Neil Adams art is kind of... Yeah. It takes away from it a bit.
Mitch, was it you that sent me that picture of the thing? Or was it someone else? It was you?
No, I didn't say it, but that's the problem I had with it. Yeah, he doesn't... In my opinion, he doesn't draw the Ben Grimm thing right, and it's kind of like, what is that?
I look forward to seeing it. Now I'm intrigued.
It actually looks like a gorilla type, like the Beast or something from the X-Men, I thought.
Yeah,
so it's not Rocky looking? Is it kind of mushy?
It's just the way the thing carries himself. The thing should be like a big block.
Hold on.
A mushy thing.
That looks like the thing to me. I mean, I think...
Not with those teeth.
Not with those teeth.
Well, but he's kind of... Is he angry? Is he growling? Is he,
He's got teeth.
I know he's got teeth, but,
No.
Right. I was thinking of the thing as the poop monster from Dogma, Kevin Smith movie.
It's a mushy thing.
Wayne sent you that picture.
Oh, Wayne sent me the picture. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about it on chat. That's right. Sorry, Wayne. I couldn't remember who had sent it to me.
But
I got scared when he sent me that stuff.
Huh.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still curious to see it.
they did announce today they're going to release it in a Treasury edition, which I'm like,
Oh, that's fun. That's
I like
fun.
Treasury editions; those are always great.
Yeah. God, I wonder how much they're going to charge for a Treasury edition.
I think it's like $20.
20 isn't bad.
No, I have the Donny Cates Silver Surfer Black that came out.
Did they do that as a Treasury edition as well?
Yeah, they did.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they did that one, and Mark Waid's History of Marvel Comics. Marvel's doing a lot more of them than I don't think. DC's
Well,
doing anything.
everyone's playing with the format now because of I think the worries about the magazine, the $5 magazine, the $5
is that what it
monthly.
is? Oh.
Well, enough $4.99 books out there. Sadly, I mean there are still $3.99 books, but it's the same way as it was when it was $2.99 or $2.50 or whatever in certain cases.
You pay $20 for a 6-issue series, and it's in that big format like this. I mean, it's got a better value because you're like, hey,
Yeah, no, I understand. It's interesting.
Well, at least you'll be able to read the text.
Yeah, my eyes are going, so I can see that.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the library and you need the large print
the large
copies.
readers. Yeah. Well, you wear glasses, Johnny. Who are you kidding?
Sure. No, I'm not making
No,
fun.
have you always worn those?
Since like junior high.
Yeah.
But like you, I need them more for
distance.
For distance read. Yeah, for distance vision. No, when I read, I need to take my glasses off and just read the print.
Right.
And I had bifocals and I hated them.
Yeah, the transitions, they sold that to me.
Yeah.
I could do
Well,
that.
and when I was working in traffic and trying to read my script, I'd have to like
Yeah. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like,
well,
Yes,
again,
I do, 'cause in the classroom, I would always be taking them off to look at students' artwork, and it was driving me nuts because I was taking my glasses on and off like 5,000 times a day, and I'm like, just give me transitions. I had a headache for like 2-3 days, but then I was good.
I'm going to start reading books this big.
Yeah, here.
To help me out.
What is that? What is that book?
That is Dicko is Amazing.
Oh, fun.
And it's a reprint of Spider-Man annuals and all this stuff. This is just one of those things, if you like art, you get. Not art.
Yeah, as I said, I don't like Art Balthazar at all.
No, but it's just stuff like this you can actually see how crazy this artwork was.
Oh, he's the man.
They came out with a bunch of them. They got a Kirby one. They got a Steranko one. It's just fun. It's like those artist editions that Scott
Yeah,
Dunbar does. Yeah, they got a Bill Sienkiewicz one coming out with his Elektra, not Elektra, the Daredevil one he did.
Love and Glory.
Yeah, that's going to be in a huge format because see
Wow.
how Bill's work. Yeah, that's something else.
Oh my God, that's really. I probably read like New Mutants or something before reading Love and Glory, but that's really where my brain exploded, and I'm like, oh, Sienkiewicz is amazing. And I was reading Moon Knight and everything too.
Yeah,
Isn't it interesting?
He started painting everything then.
Yeah, we all love Moon Knight except for Bill. Bill, like just like Chaykin with Star Wars. Bill's like, he's like, I mean, I appreciate that people like it. He goes, but I never really felt it was my character, and I was still drawing, aping Neil Adams style, and he hadn't really like found himself yet. Look who's here, everybody.
Oh, it's Mighty Mike Negin. Look at that.
He was the last one I expected.
I know. At first, I was we thought it'd be Skulk or whatever, but no, it's cool. Glad you could join us.
Skulk's right here. What do you mean?
I mean, Scoot rather.
No,
Sorry.
we're calling him the opposite today.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I've been smoking too much wacky weed, and then I had a Tex Avery issue I don't even want to talk about.
Oh,
sorry to hear that.
I mean,
Exactly.
it was knocking on the door. Hello, I have to come out now.
TMI.
Hi, everybody. How is everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Indiana
Go.
Jones.
out.
What do you got?
Have any of you guys read
Hold
this?
on,
Oh, I have that.
I got my hands full. I'm
You
trying
do know
to.
that.
Hold on.
Should you
do
really
know
be doing that on camera, John?
There you go.
You do know I got a credit in there because the Raider.net, that's me for the last 20 years, and then the Indiana Jones podcast for 13.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
wow.
John Rinsler's. It'll say in there, the IndieCast and the Raider.net. Special thanks to.
Nice.
It's a great book. It really is. I learned a lot.
And then the Indiana Jones movie they made right here in my hometown in New Haven, where I did see George Lucas, Spielberg, and Harrison Ford, and got in trouble with the Paramount Police Department. Thank you very much.
What did you do to get
I
in
walked
trouble?
onto a hot set, and I didn't know that. Because I was walking down the streets of New Haven, where I grew up, and they were filming Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. And I turned a corner, and I was talking to this guy, and next thing you know, there's Harrison Ford drinking coffee, and Steven Spielberg next to him. And I'm like, oh my God. So I went and took my camera out, and the pictures were funny because they're just talking to each other, but behind them, these giant security guards are slowly looking towards me, and you see their fingers closer. And I'm too busy looking at Ford and Spielberg, but in the background you see all these big goons, and next thing you know they're on top of me, and they're like, "You're on a closed set." I go, "I'm just walking down High Street. What are you yelling at me for?" They go, "Give us your camera," and they took my camera. And they deleted the pictures off of it. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now this is like the Catholic schoolboy. I'm like, you can't take my property and do, what do you think this is, Nazi Germany? What the? And I just started going nuts. I said, you can't take someone's camera and delete pictures. That's private property. You're on a public street. So I made a huge stink about it. And the local news cameras were there. They took the local news cameras footage and tried deleting that too. And that guy started going, I'm with the press. You can't touch my stuff. And he made a big thing. Frank Marshall, the producer, had to come out on the evening news that night and apologize for what Paramount had done. He said, we're very sorry. We were overzealous. We didn't mean to do that. By all means, come down here. It's a public street.
Did he also apologize for arachnophobia?
No. He said, take as many pictures as you would like. We apologize for the earlier incidents today. And then after that, they let people, like they set up across the street, and you could take pictures of Harrison Ford and all that while they were filming the motorcycle chase and all that.
You spited them and never went back and
no,
never
I was there every day. Are you kidding me? I kept showing up. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever, man. And Harrison Ford was there, and Lucas and Spielberg had a fight because what would happen is Lucas, they're both car nuts, okay? So Spielberg would arrange the cars, the 50s cars, like he wanted them, like a certain look, like I want that red car over there and a yellow car over there, and don't touch anything. And he'd leave. And then Lucas would come on and go, ooh, look at the cars. Like a little kid, he'd get in the car and drive around the streets a little bit because he's a car nut, and he'd move the cars around. And then Spielberg would come back like, why is that red car over there now? They go, well, Mr. Lucas was there. Put the cars back where they were. So they're doing that. Meanwhile, Harrison Ford's bored out of his mind, riding a motorcycle up and down the street, just waiting for the scene to be done. It was like chaos that cost millions of dollars, all happening in the new.
But at least we got a good fourth Indiana.
Oh, stop!
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad.
Shia LaBeouf was nice too. He was a nice kid.
I'm glad you called me up and invited me down, Mitch. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
exactly. It was June 23rd to July 4th in 2007. They were here. So.
Oh, I didn't know you till last year.
When they shot Dark Knight in Chicago, and Batman Returns for them, or whatever, Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, yeah.
They shot in our building where my radio station was, and in the parking lot under the building, Heath Ledger was tooling around on his skateboard in his full Joker makeup and hanging out, and it was pretty funny. And on Lower Wacker Drive, they had the Batmobile parked, the tumbler, but they had a drop cloth over it, and it was great. All these jamokes would like whip off the drop cloth and everything. Hey, nice! Look, it's me next to the Batmobile over by there. Hey, this is great over by there. It's nice.
Sal was there?
Exactly. Everyone who talks like Sal Abenati. Exactly. But I was going to say about knocking cameras out of your hand. Jeff Garland did stand up at a theater, and I went and saw it, and he was doing signings and everything. And so from afar, I zoomed in and was going to take a picture. And a bouncer knocked the camera out of my hand onto the floor, and I'm like, really? I need to see your manager right now. And he's like, sir. I'm like, no, bullshit, right now. And the manager came out, and I said, this guy, I am 20 feet away from him. Big deal that I took a picture like that. This guy knocked his camera, and he gives me $20 and tells the guy, $20? Well, because I'm like, I go, this is a $500, it was an iPhone. Oh, it's a $500 phone. Fuck you. Pardon me. Sorry, once again. All right, hold on.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, you were here, Mike.
All right, so anyway.
Out 3 times. Anyway.
So the manager gives me $20. He's like, I'm very sorry. It doesn't look like you got any damage. And goes to the bouncer and says, apologize to the man. And the guy's like, I'm sorry. And I said, uh-huh. And I was like, who the hell do you think you are, slapping your phone?
They deleted my picture.
Well, and I understand. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Mitch. I'm on your side on this one, but I do get that they're doing a movie. I mean, do you guys remember when they were shooting the first Avengers movie in Cleveland?
Oh, yeah.
And somebody with an iPhone was taking pictures of like a fight scene between Captain America and Thor, and they're like, "Look how cheap this looks." And it's like, look, man, that's on your little iPhone, and they're using a red cam, and they're going to have music and digital cuts. You have no idea what you're shooting. It's like, don't even try. Right. It's like, just relax.
Mine was Harrison Ford drinking a Starbucks and Spielberg walking around just talking to him.
You call this a veggie?
I don't blame them for doing that to you, Mitch, because I've spent time with you, and you take a lot of pictures of me, and I was starting to get annoyed, honestly.
I photoshopped the hell out of him, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But sure.
Very nice.
His body.
When I went to a book signing with John Travolta.
Oh my God!
Like 25 years ago, maybe.
What?
I went to take some pictures, and of course, the security guy there, he jumps over. He's like, "No!" I'm like, "Hey, calm down!" And he starts like really pushing on me. I'm like, "Hey, man, relax. You better relax."
Yeah.
So he's like, "You better put that camera away. Put the camera away." So I was like, all right. So, but me being me, as soon as I get up to John Travolta, I'm like,
"Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Travolta, would you mind if I take a picture?" And the guy jumps out of nowhere, and he's like, "I told you already.
Really?
No camera, no pictures." And Travolta like goes, "Wait a second."
Yeah.
He's like, "This man is here." How long did you wait? I said, "I waited a couple hours." He waited a couple hours to meet me. He's a fan. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for my fans.
That's cool.
He goes, "Let him take the picture." He goes, "In fact, you take the camera and you take the picture."
Good.
So you got a picture with a thumb over your face.
Yeah, I was going to say, cut off your head.
When it happened...
The picture looks like this.
When it happened, the dude took the picture. Now, this was pre-digital cameras. This was like this was like a real camera. So I was nervous. You can't view it. I was nervous that when we developed it, it was like he covered her.
It was really...
But it didn't. He did. It was a legit picture. And he handed me back the camera. He was so miserable. And Travolta was like, "I'm sorry that happened to you. Thanks again for coming. I really appreciate it."
That's cool.
Yeah.
You guys all know Nathan Fillion is like that with his fans. Nathan Fillion really is like always running for mayor, wants to shake your hand, looks you in the eye, and says, "Seriously, I really appreciate that you like what I do."
Patrick,
which is very sweet. He's a good dude.
Scullin, from San Diego. You know Patrick Scullin.
Of course.
He sets up next to us in San Diego, and he's a huge Nathan Fillion fan. And he went up to him and wanted to get a picture, and Nathan was apologetic and said, I'm on my way somewhere, I can't. But here, and he handed him a business card.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he showed it to me, and the business card said, I asked Nathan Fillion for a picture, but he was too busy, so he gave me this card instead. Yeah. To prove that you actually met Nathan Fillion. So I thought that was actually really cool.
That's awesome.
It had a signature on it. So
Steve Martin
used to do it.
Yeah, he hands out a similar card of, "No, you really did meet Star. It did happen. It's true. Whatever," and he would sign it or whatever. So yeah.
Doesn't Bill Murray? I've heard different stories. Like Bill Murray does stuff like he'll go up to somebody in a diner and eat one of their fries and say, "No one's ever going to believe this happened to you."
He shows up at keggers. He shows up at weddings.
I got a picture of him over there at a birthday party, and he's saying "Happy Birthday" to my kid when he was 5, and we're like, "Why is Bill Murray here?"
But I have the sad opposite story, and it's not Bill Murray's fault at all. Our sports radio station. This was a couple years after I had left. But it was opening day at Wrigley Field, and they're like, "Bill, we know you show up every year, please." And, again, all of us that worked at the radio station, we knew guys. It's like Mike is in New York and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we arranged for Bill Murray to come to our broadcast, which is happening at one of the bars in Wrigleyville. Can't remember if it was Bernie's or Sports Corner or Skoke, but anyway. So they're waiting for him, and their intent is to bring him around from the back. And instead, Murray, with one of his kids, who was 5 at the time, walks through the front door.
Yep.
The place erupts. Women are squealing. The kid grabs onto his dad's leg and starts crying. Murray picks him up, spins on his heel, and walks out.
Yep.
And it was, and literally for the next 2 hours of the broadcast, these guys are they were in a car accident. He was here. Yeah. He was here in the room. He was 5 feet away from us. He turned around and left. And I'm sorry, I laughed my ass off, and I still tell the story with glee. It's the idiots. I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm like, you should have had that whole entire block surrounded with people to make sure that didn't happen.
No.
But, you know, it's like, come on.
No, we had Alice Cooper at the first Terrificon at Mohegan Sun because he was doing a show there, and he's a comic book fan, and he loves Neil Adams and stuff. And what's the tall guy's name that was married to Pamela Anderson, the drummer?
Oh, that was George Lucas.
Yeah, the
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee. Yeah,
Tommy Lee's a comic guy too. So
I didn't know
Tommy
that.
Lee, I didn't know it either. He's walking around the show, and you can't miss him because he's a big person, but he had like a mask, huge. So I said, "Who's
That's
that
what
guy?"
I've heard.
That's
I've
Tommy
seen the
Lee.
videos.
Well, another thing, yeah. And I heard that punched out Buzz Aldrin too. But anyway, he left, and he goes and tells Alice Cooper. So Alice Cooper was going to come downstairs and go to the show and just walk around and buy comics and stuff. So word got out that he was coming to the show. Everybody started going crazy, and all the dealers started pulling out their Marvel premieres with Alice Cooper on it or whatever, and they're trying to jack up the prices and stuff. And we had arranged for a line of people to get autographs from Alice Cooper at this guy's booth. So Cooper's manager comes down and sees that all these people are now trying to push their wares and stuff, you know? And he said, "Oh, Alice isn't coming now," because he was so mad. He just wanted to come and enjoy the convention without being bothered, but now everybody's expecting him to do something.
Yeah.
So he said, "Just get all the names of the people that are in line, and we'll give them something," but he's not coming. So sure enough, they took all the names, and Alice Cooper brought down like autographed photographs of himself for all the people and for free, and that was it. So yeah, sometimes these people just want to be left alone and just walk into a show and not be. But Brian Posehn's another one too. He was shopping at Terrificon in between his show, and he just was buying Lego figures for his little kids and stuff. And then people recognized who he was. They're like, "That's the guy from the Fantastic Four movie and what's a Big Bang Theory?" And he's like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Oh boy.
So
A lot of those
it
dudes walk around
sucks.
New York Comic Con. A lot of the cast. Mark Ruffalo did it one year. He put on a mask, walked around with his kids. You know, nobody ever.
Bryan Cranston did it at San Diego, but he was wearing a mask of himself.
It's so
A gigantic Walter White mask. Yes.
It's the most genius cosplay.
Yes, exactly. Gigantic Walter.
That's gotta suck though, that you can't enjoy anything like a normal person because everyone wants to bother you all the time.
Yeah, I'm starting
It's
to
hard.
experience that
It's
when
hard,
I go
but
to
I get through the day.
conventions. Yeah,
You do,
people.
yeah.
I keep getting stopped. People are like, "Are you the guy from that 2001 MTV movie Spring Break Lawyer? Weren't you in the background?"
Spring Blake, greased up. He's greased up guy number 2.
Yeah, Mitch.
Oh,
that
don't you
was,
also get? Aren't you in sync? Don't you get that too?
I am. I'm still
he's,
JT.
Yeah,
JT,
you know, like,
yeah.
I remember when James Taylor was JT.
He still is.
always will be.
There's only one. Until I die. I love James Taylor. Boy, that put a halt on everything, didn't it?
Yeah.
Put James Taylor up.
Screeching halt there, man. Talk
Can we go
about
back
segue.
to Nathan Fillion real quick? I have a Nathan
Sure.
Fillion thing. So he was at one of our shows. He was in the back. He was taking doing his photo ops thing. So I was back there. I just wanted to meet him real quick. I was like, "Hey,
Sure.
you know, I'm a big fan." Shook his hand. Took a quick picture with him, and I was like, "I got to run. I got stuff to do. Great meeting you." I shake his hand. I tap him on the shoulder. I go, "Keep flying," and I just bolt out of there. And I fully
Keep flying.
Keep flying. What is he, a
It's from-
pilot?
It's from
Firefly.
Oh, I don't watch that show.
Great show.
It's a great show.
And only
So-
13 episodes.
Only can get
and a
through the
movie.
first one.
And a movie.
And a
Yeah.
movie.
Good movie.
Great movie.
Just
So
put it through the wash.
I'm trying.
Boy, Franco's really amusing himself tonight. Go
Yeah,
on.
he is. He's having a blast. Yeah.
So I'm literally like in a rush to get back to wherever I'm in a rush to get back to.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like 30 seconds away from where I was. I come out of the curtains. I start to bob and weave through some of the fans, and all of a sudden, on the back of my shoulder, really hard, is like a hard tap. And I'm like, "What the?" I turn around, and it's Nathan Fillion, and he goes like this in my face. He goes, "Keep flying," and he just runs back, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's actually pretty cool." Like
I moderated a panel with him, Nicholas Brendan, and I want to say Elizabeth Rome from Angel and Law and Order. And it was down at one of Brother Bear's Orlando shows.
FX shows.
Yeah, FX, thank you. I was going to say Fanix, but that's Salt Lake City. Say it, Franco.
Salt Lake City.
Thank you. So I moderated the panel. And seriously, Nathan Fillion's like, hey man, you're really good at this. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. He goes, no, I mean it. And I'm like, no, that's cool. You're very kind. So no, he's a sweetheart. He's a good
And
dude.
did you even bother?
Nicholas Brendan and I could have gone to the backstage and wow.
Nicholas Brendan, oof.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
He was
Yeah.
messed up. He was messed
That's
up.
interesting. Imagine that.
He didn't have much to say.
You know, guys, one of the viewers just made a reference to an audiobook that I narrated. Mitch, I know you're probably not aware, but I narrated an audiobook about how to cure hemorrhoids the natural way.
Home remedies.
Interesting.
Yes,
That's
it's
something.
I'll tell you the secret. It's
Because it never gets old.
because
That's why you can't go
Johnny
down
wants
with
to hear
supper.
about it again.
I do.
You mix cayenne pepper in water and you drink it, and that
Shove it up
supposedly
your
will
butt.
cure hemorrhoids.
Or
You can mix it into a paste and apply it directly to the
To the
affected
area.
I like this for effect. You can apply it
Yeah.
directly.
Well, I like to
Yeah.
imagine you might
Did
give it
I
a slap
ever
or something, right?
Tell
when
you the time I embarrassed
Take a
myself
small
in front of
spatula.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
well, you need an extra pair of pants?
How many times have you met Harrison Ford?
Oh, twice. But the first time was back in April 22nd, 1999 at Earth Day. I was at Pier 61 or 33 in New York for a Riverkeeper dinner with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and there was Harrison Ford. He was the speaker that night. So my wife and I pull up in our Ford Taurus with our baby seat in the
Your
back
Harrison
seat.
Ford Taurus.
Yeah, Harrison. I was just
My
telling you,
Harrison
beat
Ford
me to
Taurus,
it.
and I had a Bill Winnie the Pooh. Remember those little shades they used to put for babies so the sun didn't get them? So it was a little Winnie the Pooh thing. And we're late to the show, and my wife goes, "Oh my God, there's Harrison Ford, you cheap bastard! Go to valet parking." So we go to the valet, and Harrison's in front of us, and he gets out
Hey,
of his
take
car.
your keys.
And he walked over to the door and he opened it up for his wife, who at the time was Melissa Matheson, writer of E.T. and Black.
Oh, that's
Friday.
right. Yes, indeed. The
So
first wife.
They
Yes.
walked out, and now I'm waiting to go because I want to go see him too, but I have to wait for the valet to come and get my keys. So my wife goes, to hell with this, I'm out of here. She opened the door and jumped out, ran through the red carpet, and there's pictures of Harrison Ford, his wife, and my wife as they walk into the building, and I'm waiting for the guy. So the guy comes, I'm like, here, take the damn keys, and I throw it out. So I walk out, and some reporter screams, look, there's Jay Leno. So I turn to go look behind me to see Jay Leno, and all the white bulbs are flashing in my face now like a deer in the headlight, and I can't see anything. And I'm like, where's Jay Leno? And they're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, I'm not Jay Leno. So they thought I was. So I go
That's
walking
awesome.
in, and I'm trying to find my wife now because there's all these people there. And Glenn Close is there and all that. And I'm like, Jesus, she dumped me. There's no cell phones. I don't know how to call her and stuff. So people are like, oh, look, there's Leno. I'm like, I'm not Jay Leno. So they have the table where they
That's the name of your book, Mitch. I'm not Jay Leno.
I'm not Spock. So they all have those like little 10 cards that tell you where you're going to be sitting at what table. And my wife's over there getting her to find out where we're going to be. So I'm like, well, you just left me out there. You just walked out there, and all these people start calling me Jay Leno and all the flashballs because you went to go see Harrison Ford.
She
Why
probably
did you wait
told
for
them
me?
that Jay Leno was coming.
So
She's like,
I'm yelling at her, and she's looking at me. She goes, he's right behind you. And I'm like in a frenzy
Jay Leno?
because I get Ford. So I
No.
whip around and I slam my nose into Harrison Ford's arm because he's right behind me as I'm screaming at my wife. And all these reporters from like Entertainment Tonight, CNN, and they're all asking him like questions and stuff about, why are you here? What do you think the charity does? And I'm in the shot as he's answering the questions. So I'm just like, hi, Mom. So there's Harrison Ford talking to me and everything. And my wife's like, you're so stupid. So they leave, and I go over to her. I said, I'm embarrassed. She's like, well, did you get his autograph? I go, I can't get his autograph now. He's with all these people. She's like, we paid money to be at this charity benefit. You go up to him and you get a damn autograph from him. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
okay, dear. She's bossy like that. So I go walking back towards him, and there's this little blonde assistant, and she says, what can I do for you? I said, oh, I'd like to get Mr. Ford's autograph. Oh, he can't do autographs. And I walk back to Jet. My wife goes, get the hell back there right now. So I go
She
back.
said, I'm Jay Leno.
So no, and I got pictures of Harrison Ford there. My wife's taking pictures of me, and I put them up on Facebook before, and I'm kind of like rolling my eyes, and then he turns around, and I go, oh, hi, could you sign this? And it's an Indiana Jones postcard of Indiana Jones beating up a Nazi. And he goes, do you walk around carrying a Indiana Jones postcard in your pocket all the time? I go, only when I'm going to meet Harrison Ford. He goes, oh, okay. So he writes Harrison Ford on it, and I go, oh, I'm all excited now. So I put it back in my pocket, and I go find my wife. She's at a bar talking to this older woman, and they're having wine. And I go, oh, I got the thing. I'm happy. I could go home now.
Sure.
I met Han Solo. I'm awesome. Let's forget this freaking thing. Let's go home. So she's like, oh, well, here he comes. I'm like, what? And this is why I would hate being famous, because as Harrison Ford's walking towards us, it's like a tiger or an animal in a zoo, because everyone's like pointing at him like,
sure.
Oh, there's Harrison Ford. Oh, and you can tell he's just like staring straight ahead, like there's where I have to go. Don't look at any of the stuff here, because it's all
freak
going
with
on.
the picture in his pocket.
Yeah, and then he's coming towards us, and I'm like, oh, and his wife was standing right next to my wife, because I didn't really know who she was. So I hear her say, how'd it go? Oh, and you just hear her make this sigh like, I can't take this.
Postcard.
Yeah, and I'm right there, and I go, oh, let's just leave. So we go out, and now it's, if you ever been to Pier, I think it's Pier 33 in New York, it's right on the Hudson River, so there's this outdoor area, and it's getting darker, and we have, remember those, I have a camera. He comes through the crowd. My wife goes, get a picture with him. I go, I've already bothered him enough with the autograph. She's like, get a picture with them. I'm like, she's pushy, my wife. So I get a picture with Harrison Ford. Coldest handshake I've ever had in my life. And I ran for office. I've shaken 5,000 people's hands some days. It was like dead fish. It's like,
well, body temperature, or he didn't want to put any effort in the handshake.
Well,
yeah, because at that point you're what's her face from Misery, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe Indiana Jones
Kathy
has such
Bates.
a lame handshake, So I go, oh well, and what's Blondie's name? Deborah Harry. She was going to sing that night, so now I'm trying to make conversation with them. I said, oh, you're going to see Deborah Harry? He goes, oh, I don't care. And the new Star Wars was about to come out, Phantom Menace. And I go, oh, are you going to see the Star Wars movie? He goes, no, not at all. And I'm like, oh, just leave him alone. I'm done. So I go to walk away. I got my photograph with him now.
Then your wife says, get in bed with him.
No, this woman grabs me by the shoulder. And like you said, people get crazy screaming when they saw Bill Murray. This woman is so excited to see Harrison Ford. She, oh my God, it's Harrison Ford. Oh my God. And he's just like trying to stay calm, like calm her down. And she's like shaking and everything, And she goes, you, take our picture. And again, it's dark out and I can't see that well. And I'm kind of like a schlep. You remember those 110 cameras that kind of look like...
Yeah, the disposable ones.
I don't know if they were... Yeah, maybe they were disposable. It looked like that. It was like long and the thing.
Yeah.
So she gives me the camera, and she's like, oh my God, Harrison Ford, I love you so much. I love it. And he's looking at me like, will you please hurry up and take this photo? I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm looking through the little square, and I'm the viewfinder, and I'm trying to see her. And I said, ma'am, is this thing on? Because the little black thing's closed. I don't see anything. And she's like, yeah, it's all set. It's all ready to go. Just take the picture. And I'm like, but I can't see you. And he's like, please hurry up. And I said, oh, okay, now I'm getting nervous because Indiana Jones is rushing me. This woman's getting crazy. And I just put the thing up to my eye, and I go to hit the shutter, and there's no shutter. And I'm like, where the frig is the button, man? And I find it on the left-hand side. And I go, why is it on the left-hand side? It's always on the right-hand side. I'm a professional photographer. I do this for a living, for products and stuff. So I go to do it, and as I'm doing it, I go, screw it, I'll just hit the button. I hear Harrison Ford like, no, wait, don't. And as soon as I did it, I had the camera backwards, and I was looking through the shutter, and the flash went off in my eye. And you ever have a flash go off in your eye? You get that big green blob. You can't see anything.
You can't see anything, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm like, and Harrison Ford goes, you just took a picture of your eye. And everybody around me, it's like one of those Charlie Brown things where they're like, ah. Everyone's laughing at me. My wife runs away. She's so embarrassed. Jay Leno's an idiot, and I can't see anything now. And I have the camera, and I'm shaking now because I just exploded in my face. So I just blindly give him the camera. He goes, I don't want it. He gives it back to me. I go, I don't want it. So we're passing the camera. The woman grabbed it out of my hand, starts swearing at me, calling me names like, you stupid SOB. And she's advancing the camera like that. She goes, I hope there's more pictures left. I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, I can't see. I'm blind, And she gives me the camera back. He takes the camera. He puts it up to my eye. He goes like this. How many fingers am I holding up? I go, 2. He goes, can you see me? I go, I got you, Spielberg. We got you, okay? And he's like, get it right this time. I'm like, so anyway, I take the picture. Can't find my wife. I give the lady back her camera. I'm so embarrassed. To this day, I'm embarrassed. It's 21 years later. I'm still embarrassed about this. I go up to my wife. She goes, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen you do in my life. And now
Good support,
she
honey.
goes, oh my God, what did you do? I go, why? She goes, here he comes. He's coming towards me now. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get thrown out. He's going to call security on me. And I'm like, and now Harrison Ford puts his hand out. And I'm like, okay, he's going to hit me. He's going to pull me in and like punch me or something. And this time he actually has some grip to it. And I kind of look at it. I go, what? He goes, thank you. He goes, I get millions of pictures taken of me like you wouldn't believe, but I'm always going to remember this one. I go, oh, thanks. You're welcome, right? So for the rest of the night, there's an open bar, so you go get your drinks. So I would get up, and my wife would be at the table, so I'd go get her a drink. And as I'm walking across the floor, I'd go by his table and he'd go, and there's a guy right there. All night long, he kept pointing to me, and they'd all be laughing and pointing. I'm like, oh, this is so bad.
That's a great story.
Yeah, but it's a true story, which is better.
I know how Harrison Ford felt because that story took as long as it was.
No, stop. This is going to fill up. So at the end of the night,
I just finished watching The Boys while I was off camera. It was fantastic.
At the end of the night, I'm going to get the valet. You think it's over. I'm getting there, and who's standing next to me but Harrison Ford? He goes, how's your eye? I go, oh, thanks. It's okay now. He goes, yeah, all right. So they go, Ford, and he looks up, but it was for my Ford Taurus, and it pulls up with the baby seat in the back and the Winnie the Pooh thing, and he just looks down at it, he looks at me, he goes, that's yours, huh? I go, yeah, that's mine. And then his big freaking Land Rover pulls up in front of mine, and I go, that's yours, huh? He goes, yeah, see ya. Be careful about your eye next time. I'm like, yeah, all right. And that's my story.
Indiana Jones 5, ladies and gentlemen. The Kodak Instamatic that failed.
You should have held your camera backwards and screamed, hey, Harry, it's me, and taken your picture of your eye, and that was it. So, good night.
This camera's supposed to be in a museum. Yeah, thanks, Mitch. That was great. All right, take care.
I gave you time to go to the bathroom, John.
Yeah, exactly. Where was that story when I was dropping a deuce? Good Lord.
You didn't ask me to, but I got to.
I'm kidding. No, that was a good story. That's all right. That's very funny. That's good. Well, I'm glad. Honestly, I was so worried that it was going to end with, I never want to see you again.
No.
I'm going to punch you harder than I punched that Nazi in the movie.
Exactly.
I thought it was going to end like that or something.
You're the reason wwhy I hated I did Cowboys and Aliens.
Give me back the
this was
postcard.
before that.
I understand.
Back then.
Well, that movie he made where either he was the doctor. Yeah, wasn't he like a doctor and there was a couple that had a kid with like an incurable disease?
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it.
Lorenzo's Life.
Extreme Measure or
Something like that.
Yeah.
He did an autograph signing that was connected to one of the radio stations I worked at, and there was a long line of, and I mean, it was going to be an autograph thing, and he understood it was part of the deal.
Yeah.
Meet and greet.
Yeah.
And this very, very nice guy is like, look, we know everybody's excited to meet Mr. Ford.
Yeah.
Just a couple of rules. We're gonna have about a 10 or 20 feet buffer, maybe 10 feet buffer between the line and the table.
Yeah.
One at a time. We will cue you when you walk up. Only one item, and please, and everyone's nodding. Okay, fine. He comes to the door and sits down. Everybody rushes to the table. What did we just say? And literally, and then Harrison Ford's like, oh god. Yeah. All right, fine. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, it's like, honestly, it's like just people can really be dumb.
Dicks.
And dicks. And very selfish. And it's like, we just told you how it was going to work. Why is this happening? Where's Alan Arkin?
The people running the thing, because they know that's going to happen. You put people up there. Put enough people up there. I know. I guess.
Well, again, there were, and they stopped them, but still, there was just this rush of people.
Franco, sometimes it doesn't matter. I remember at New York Comic Con, we literally had to make chains of staffers holding arms, and to keep the people away from the Avengers cast. And it didn't matter. They were pushing on us.
Sure there.
I thought we were going to die.
Sure there.
I was like, this is the end. Right here now, I'm going to get trampled by 1,000 Avengers fans.
I hear you, man.
When I almost got run over by Grant Gustin, too, I almost literally got lifted up off the ground by the crowd. It was like insane in San Diego. So.
I was going to say, whenever the Marvel stage always has the celebrities on it, I'm always like, oh, good luck.
Hey, Mike, do you remember Roger who used to run your PR department?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Do you remember him? No, he doesn't remember him at all,
No,
Mitch.
no, well,
he's never seen a cat video,
gone for about
and
5
he's
or
never
6
seen.
years.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Mighty Mike, you ever see that video of Buzz Aldrin
Punching in the moon
So
denier.
anyway, he gave me my press passes every year when I do New York
Do you
Comic
remember
Con.
him?
So I had to go charge up my iPhone. This is when they just started coming out because I had to call my wife and tell her I was going to be late. So the security guy sees it, and I go, well, Roger said I could charge my phone. Oh, okay. So he opens the door, and inside there's Kevin Feige, Chris Evans, Clark Gregg, Tom Hiddleston, Mark Ruffalo, the whole Avengers, Colby Smulders.
That's that same year.
It was 2010 or 11, one of those. So I
Yeah,
walked in,
it's
and
11.
I'm the only one in the room with them, and they're all like talking. They look over at me. I go, I just got to charge my iPhone. They're like, yeah, whatever. So I'm like, holy crap, there's the Avengers, and my phone's dead. So I'm waiting for it to, the light to come on that says the Apple logo. So I go out, and the security guy who saw me goes, hey, where are you going? Aren't you here for the press interviews? I'm like, yes, I am. Right? And I walk right up, and I have nothing prepared because I had no idea I was going to do it. And there's an Australian camera crew and Entertainment Tonight, and they all have their cards on the ground where they're supposed to stand. And she comes up, and she goes, you just stand right here. And then she brought every one of the Avengers out to me, and I had 2 questions I could ask. And it was always like, making
What's your
up some
favorite
question.
color?
Could you sign this too? And they would and I got autographs from Evans, Hiddleston, and Craig. And I wasn't even supposed to be there. And
They didn't see you getting autographs and be like, yeah, why don't you get out
the
of here?
security guy came up to me and said, hey, listen, you could keep asking questions, but these guys are really tired. You can't get any more autographs. I go, dude, I was going to say, I'm not even supposed to be here. But I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem. Whatever. That's hard work.
Did you record them for your podcast? Did you get any?
I have them to this day. I had Clark Gregg talking about Jim Starlin comic books. I have Tom Hiddleston tell me he wanted to go back in time to see if Shakespeare really wrote all his plays. Chris Evans was giving me the 3rd degree because I asked the question wrong. I said, if there's anybody you could play, who would it be? He goes, well, there's a lot of people in the world. Who do you want? I go, I don't know, just somebody you like. He goes, well, you said. I go, what are you, a lawyer? And we just started like going at it. I'm like, oh, that ain't good.
Right now, Mike Negin is jotting down notes of how to
don't let Mitch
security
Exactly.
security for next time.
And Colby Smulders, I blew off. She came up to me and she goes, do you want to ask me any questions? I go, why would I want to do that? And she goes, don't you know who I am? I go, no, who the hell are you? And she goes, I'm in the Avengers
Always
movie.
suave with
I didn't know who she was. I never watched that Married with Your Mother show. So
Ba-
I don't know
ba-
who she was.
ba-
Married to your mother's
Who the
show.
hell are you?
Yeah, I did. I'm the guy that says,
It's the one's on the Playboy channel.
Who the hell?
Hey, Mike, have
I
you
said,
ever
who the
met
hell are
Mitch? This is Mitch.
I
Have you
I
ever
do
met
that all the time.
Do you know Mitch? Is that possible? Have you seen that YouTube video of Mitch?
I gave the camera crew next to me, they go, well, you have 2 questions for Colby. I said, look, I don't care who you are, so let this guy have 4 questions. So I gave my 2 to him, and she goes, I can't believe you're not talking to me. I go, I don't know who you are.
Hey, way to go, Mitch. There you go. You're the woman. That's nice going.
But that's okay.
Good job. That's why the women love you.
We were going to bring her to Terrificon, and she was doing the show with Greg Ruckus thing, Stumptown. And I go, oh, let's not bring her here, because if she remembers, I'm the guy that didn't know who the hell she was. So that's not good.
That's hilarious.
Blame
It's
it on
true.
Dave.
Hilarious.
How to Make Friends and Influence People by Mitch Halley.
I was in the press junket for Watchmen, the Watchmen movie back in 2009, and I had the 2-question thing as well. But I was lucky, and I knew everybody, and Silk Spectre was just lovely, and
Malin
Malin Ackerman, her whatever scent she had on her smelled of apricots, and seriously, was so charismatic and magnetic that I couldn't help but, I kept my cool, thankfully, and I was able to get through it. But I was swooning.
You're sniffing her. That's always
She just had such, her and Morena Baccarin from Firefly and Serenity. They're really nice, but they're ridiculously lovely women, and it's like
I met her when she was a platinum blonde.
Wow.
When was that?
It was one year in San Diego, and I walked up to her and I said to her, I said, you look very familiar to me.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you've probably seen me in a bunch of stuff. And I said, wait, that's not your real hair, is it? She goes, no, it's my real like an idiot.
Your
She
real
goes,
hair.
It's my real hair.
It's a merkin.
Take it.
It's colored. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's right. You usually have black. So, I didn't, couldn't place her.
Okay.
She had platinum blonde hair, and she usually has dark hair, so.
I was waiting in the lobby for one of Brother Bear's shows, FX, and Jewel State was across from each other in chairs. And I look up, and I'm looking, and she looks and she smiles. And I'm like, I know you. And she's like, yeah, TV. And I'm like, and at the time I hadn't seen Firefly or even Serenity, but and she's like, Firefly. I'm like, no. She's like, Stargate Atlantis. Yes, of course. I'm like, wow, you're awesome. And I'm like, sorry. And she goes, no, everyone thinks I either went to school with them or whatever. She couldn't have been sweeter.
Yeah. That happened to me with Willa Holland at San Diego Comic-Con. I was in the elevator with her, and I'm just looking at her. I go, do I know you? And she goes, I'm on TV. I go, oh, I thought I knew you. She's like, I don't know if we've ever met. I go, I was like, what show are you on? She goes, Arrow. I go, oh, I do know you. We don't know each other.
You know Serena Vincent from Not Another Teen Movie? She plays the parody of Shannon Elizabeth's character in American Pie. She's a foreign exchange student that's naked throughout the movie. And she also did Cabin Fever, the Eli Roth horror movie. And she was at one of Brother Bear's FX shows. And we were all treated, whether we were comic book people or celebrities. They had from the hotel to the convention, they had shuttles. We stayed on the same floors as the celebrities. We became friends with some of the celebrities. It was ridiculous in a great way. So Serena Vincent were both going on limos or whatever, hired cars to go, town cars to go to the convention. And there's only room for one more person. I go, you're clearly an actress. Please, whatever. So that's on Friday. Sunday, we're all in a van going back to the airport. And she's like, oh, hi, whatever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, how you doing? So we end up in the same van, and it's us and Jim McCann, who was Marvel's PR person, and Jonathan Hickman. Mm-hmm. And we're all talking to her and stuff. And I'm like, Serena, forgive me, because by then we knew her name and whatever. And I'm like, Serena, I know I've seen you and stuff. And she goes, well, you're a horror movie fan? I said, not really. And she goes, I'm in Cabin Fever, Eli Roth. Well, she didn't mention Not Another Teen Movie. So we go to the Ruth Christie's in the airport hub, because we're all flying United or whatever. We're all going to different places, but we're all waiting for those planes. So we end up having drinks with her. Could not be sweeter. As soon as she leaves, we all whip out our phones, IMDb. We got a fan. Oh, Not Another Teen Movie. She's holding out. 2 months later, she's in Chicago at a Wizard show. And she's talking to Jeff. Oh, I can't remember his name. The guy who co-wrote Booster Gold with Jeff Johns, who was a wrestling guy. TNA. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And what's that?
Jeff Jarrett?
No. Anyway, Jeff Jaguar. But anyway, I look and I see Serena, and literally I'm like, hi, Serena, you probably don't remember. She's like, oh my God, John, and comes and gives me a very sweet hug. She's like, of course I remember you. She goes, we hung out. And I'm like, well, that's very nice, because you do these all. I mean, how many conventions have you done in the last 2 months? Yeah. She's like, no, 3. She goes, no, I remember you. You're a nice guy. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just, ever since then, I'm a huge fan of hers. And she's in this documentary that Mr. Skin just created about the history of nudity in film, and she's, of course, they show her in Not Another Teen Movie, but they also interview her as well. And I was like, oh, look, there's Serena, isn't that nice? So now I'm in her corner. Anytime I see her in a movie or whatever, I'm like, hey, Serena, good for you.
What do you do when you don't remember people's names? Do you actually tell them you don't remember their name? Are you good about that? Or you think
I found it's easier.
Yeah, it's just, forgive me, I know you, And fans have been very sweet. I mean, because really, guys, please, whatever. But when people recognize me at conventions, sometimes I have a sixth sense and go, we've met before, haven't we? Yes, we have. Oh, great. And that's like, usually I'm correct. And I'm like, oh, that's nice, cool. So
yeah, I'm horrible about that.
I can't remember names for anything.
No, it's as we get older.
But listen, we should get to some ghost stories, maybe.
Well, before we do a ghost story,
yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Public service message.
That was
Don't forget.
awful.
Mitch was so excited he left.
No,
You
I'm
have to
right
go text
here.
Avery.
No, I was I was looking
Oh.
at my bobblehead.
Who's that of?
Ooh.
Is that you?
Jay Leno.
Exactly.
It's
Oh, I should do my. All right, here we go. Saturday morning, the doorbell rings, and like many Americans, I answer it. It's my Jay Leno. All right, this is great. This is great.
What's your beef? I'll tell you
One
what
of,
my beef
one
is.
of the most miserable celebrity experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
With Mitch or Jay Leno?
Because he
Oh,
What are you talking about?
he was okay. We met him backstage prior to the Tonight Show, or when he was substitute hosting for the Tonight Show, but hadn't gotten the full time gig yet. And he was nice enough.
oh, this
Mike,
was
what happened?
Tonight's show, and he was totally disinterested in talking to any of his fans. He did not want. It was a book signing. He would not lift his hand, lift his face. He was signing his books. He would not look up. He would
Wow.
sign the book. They
Wow.
He take a picture.
Maybe it's
you
a
know,
bad day.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe, but so, you look up at the very least you look up at a person.
Sure,
You don't
you
want to
think.
take a hand. You don't want to take a picture. You know, you sign it. Thanks for coming.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love his book. I do love it. And I've been looking for the audio. I used to have the CD of the audio of his book. He's Leading with My Chin. It's and truly, when a comedian writes a book, get the audio version because then you get a performance.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, just
Cleese,
Steve Martin. I got that one.
Steve
That was
Martin,
good.
Cleese
Yeah.
with his biography. And I loved reading it, but so much more entertaining hearing him read. So, which reminds me, and I meant to do it today. I swear, before the next I got to show you guys my meet and greet with Cleese that I recorded back in July.
There you go.
I mean, it was nice. It'll never hold a candle to Jamie
I
Farr.
think Jay Leno was he was a great stand-up, but once he got that Tonight Show gig, he became a different person. I hated him after that. I used to love him as a guest on
Sure.
Letterman and Johnny. He was
Oh
hysterical.
yeah, he was a bad boy.
But then exactly. He was a bad boy with the motorcycle and all that. Then he became Mr. Vanilla for America, like Mr. and Mrs. Idaho. No offense, Idaho, but he never would rock the boat, and he became a kiss ass, and I hated him for 20 years.
Well, and that's why it
off the
lasted.
show.
Yeah, but that's why the network loved him, and he had that job for so long. And
Because he kiss ass. That's why.
well, yeah, and also he just kind of, dumbed down his actor, made it more, appealing to people in Peoria. No offense to Peoria, but yeah, that was by design.
Or Danbury, Connecticut, which is not far from here.
There you go.
I'm
Absolutely,
offended for the people in Idaho and Peoria. And
I understand.
No,
I
but I
lived
never
in
understood
Peoria.
that, and that's why Letterman and him never got back. I mean, they used to be good friends, but after that, they were like,
Well, and also Leno has, Letterman's a difficult personality as
I
well.
watched that HBO movie.
But I love that movie. I love that movie.
I'm a
But
Letterman
the
guy.
book is even better. The real book that actually is the journalistic account of everything that happened is amazing. And also the Conan and Leno book, same guy, Bill Carter. They're great books, great showbiz books. But anyway, no, Leno's kind of got that passive aggressive reputation throughout the comedic world, and people always point out Letterman would break new comedians.
Yeah.
Leno would only have established comedians on his Tonight Show. He would never give any young
is that
comedians.
true?
As far as doing stand up. Yeah.
I did not know that.
And also, he would do lousy things, especially in those early art years when local TV, it still happens, where local TV will grab something from the internet and play it.
Yeah.
And there was that whole meme of a video montage of Taylor Swift at award shows that she always acts the exact same way of, oh my God, I didn't think I was going to get it.
Yeah.
No way. And literally, same gestures, everything. And I remember him going, yeah, this is something that, your staff put together, a little thing.
Oh, he
and
was
it's like,
doing
no,
stuff.
dumbass, they recorded it off of the internet. But, apparently it wasn't my staff. It was something on the computer.
Oh, he got caught?
Of course.
Oh,
He's
I didn't know that.
again, because it's like,
I'm not kidding. I never watched it once he took over. For 20 years, I never turned in. I couldn't stand it.
yeah, it's not good.
You thought you were looking in a mirror. That's all.
I'll watch Rickles. I'll watch Rickles bits from Leno's Tonight Show, but that's
I never
about it.
saw the
Hey,
resemblance.
easy.
So,
Rickles.
Rickles bits, nice.
Whoa.
Pantsless. Hey, let's drop our pants and fire off a rocket for this guy.
you like Rickles bits?
what?
I
Like I
that.
just said. Yes. You're kind of late, son. Someone already made the joke. But thanks for playing, High Beams. Way to go.
Hey, how did you know it was cold
So
in here?
angry, man.
All the time.
Can't help it.
It's like the Hulk.
Angry.
He's always in green. That's why
Mr.
he's always
McGee.
in green.
Mr. McGee. I watched a great $6 Million Man two-parter
Uh-oh.
that has them going back to the moon. Steve Austin, astronaut,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and Mr. McGee, Jack Colvin, who played the reporter on the Hulk, is
Jack
one of the
McGee.
bad guys.
Nice.
What's with this Steve Austin guy?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I believe it.
That guy had a
All
long
right.
face.
What's that?
He had a very long face.
Jack Calvin.
Jack Colvin? Yeah.
Calvin. Yeah.
He had
I don't
like
know.
a very Sarah Jessica Parker face.
Like
He wasn't a pretty man by any stretch of the
Like
imagination.
Fred Gwynn. He had a long face.
But I give him credit for that great two-parter where David Banner's got the full bandage on his face, and he gets and has amnesia, and they become friends. And I love that they carried that through. And Jack Colvin would call out because he was John Doe, and he called him John. And when he'd be the Hulk and running away, he'd be like, "John, please come back," or whatever. Like that was the subtext.
Yeah.
And it's like, aw, that's too bad, man. Now he understands him, and he wants him to know maybe that he's not a bad guy or whatever. And I'm like,
They never brought him back for those TV movies, did they? That actor. They never ended his storyline. Right?
that I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe the first or second. I'm not sure if at all. Let's look that up. I'll look that up.
Luckily,
I'm just curious, 'cause that's not
they
fair.
brought Rex Harrison in.
No, Rex
What?
Harris.
Daredevil.
No, Rex Smith.
Rex Harrison.
Rex Harris. Hello, I say that.
Eliza.
They brought
Yes.
Harrison Ford as Daredevil.
No, it was
My
Rex
word,
Smith.
Hulk! What are you
as
doing?
Daredevil and Sala played the Kingpin, but he didn't shave his
Yes, he
head.
did. He was a good Wilson Fisk.
Yeah,
And
but
there
now
was also Thor was in one of those.
Thor was
in one of those movies.
the guy that was on Good Luck Charlie, Eric Kramer. Yeah.
Yep.
But then there was one other hero they did. Who was it? Thor, Daredevil, and wasn't there another Marvel guy?
I'm pretty sure it was your mom.
Your mama. Yes. The Chameleon.
It was
No.
Deeds.
These nuts.
I can't remember.
I was fairly young when I saw the death of the Incredible Hulk.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was hung up on the fact that when Bruce Banner would change, before he had a beard, and then he
Yeah.
changed into the Hulk in the
He didn't have a
courtroom, and the
beard.
beard was gone. I
Yeah.
couldn't get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
The
Well, it
Hulk-
would suck in because it would grow out in other places.
Right.
That's interesting.
It fell from a helicopter. That's
He
how
had
he
it.
died.
That's
I
right.
I assumed
Yeah.
I assumed he would have maybe passed away when those Hulk movies were being made.
No.
But no, he lived to 2005,
Yeah.
and his last credit was Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, he's a director, right?
No,
No.
he played two different characters.
Oh, you're talking about Jack Colvin. I thought you
Yeah,
meant
yeah.
Bill Bixby.
No, I'm
I was
still talking
thinking
about
Bill
Jack
Bixby.
Colvin.
He died young, Bill Bixby.
Oh, excuse me, he is in the first one. He was
Oh,
in the
he
very
is?
first one, The Incredible Hulk Returns. Yes,
I did not remember.
there you go, Mr. McGee. And of course, Jack Kirby was in the second TV movie before they got commissioned to be a series of The Incredible Hulk.
As a sketch artist, right? Or a juror
No,
or
he was like a sheriff or something like that.
I thought he was in the courtroom scene.
No.
Oh, Stan Lee was a juror. I remember he handed the
Yeah,
bill
he
with
was
like
a juror,
the thing. Yeah.
Yep. All right, there
What
you
are we
go.
gonna do?
We can leave. I know it's late for the East Coast boys.
Yeah.
The
High
Hulk-
beams and
I got
Francis.
nothing.
The
I
Hulk,
got
is,
nothing.
the Hulk is one of the saddest theme songs of all time.
Of course it is. The Lonely Man.
Yeah.
Well, and the TV movies. The last TV movie is a very sad ending.
Well, the death of the Incredible.
Yeah, Death of the Incredible Hulk, where he falls from the airplane and changes midway and hits the ground and is like, splat.
I'm free.
And yeah, exactly. And he's like,
Free.
David, I'm so sorry. And he's like, you don't understand. I'm free.
Yeah,
and he
it's me.
dies. And they play The Lonely Man.
Yeah.
I almost cried.
I never saw that one, and I was going to watch
you're
it.
Sorry,
right.
spoiler.
alert, yeah.
Spoiler. It's on YouTube. That's what we should. Hey,
What?
those are movies we should make
Should
fun
watch.
of.
No, they're
Why?
not. They're serious.
No.
They were supposed to come back with him, but then Bixby passed away from cancer. But they were going to do another one with the Hulk comes back. And I think the She-Hulk might have been in it. Maybe.
Wow.
I'm remembering something about that.
Speaking of high beams, hey now.
Whoa. All right.
Did
well,
you
thanks
ever
for
see
coming,
the poster
everybody.
of Brigitte Nielsen as the She-Hulk? They put her in makeup.
Yeah,
with this
they
put her
purple
in
makeup.
makeup.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Awful.
Oh, was she? Had she turned
Yeah,
a page
she was-
by then?
No,
If you will.
she was still in the mid-'80s, but it was just
Okay.
like a bad weird purple one-piece bathing suit that she was in?
Because Rocky IV, Brigitte Nielsen, Hobble Bobble Boomski.
Oh yeah, she's something else.
Her legs went all the way up and made an ass of herself.
And Cobra. She's great looking in Cobra.
She's in Cobra, yeah.
That's a Stallone movie I haven't seen forever.
That's something else.
Bridget Nielsen kissed me on the lips.
Get out.
Had she turned the page by then, or no?
When she was at Celebrity Rehab.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
It was at one of those chiller shows in Jersey, and for whatever reason, like she was in that. She was on that show with Flavor Flav at the time.
Yeah.
Foofy Foo. Yeah, she had definitely turned a couple pages by then.
Yeah, she had turned by then. But me and my wife were a big fan.
You like that? You like that, Skulk? You like the euphemism? Yeah, I figured that. I figured that's a kind way of saying it. Yeah, the page had turned since then.
Big clock.
I like the even shorter one. She turned by then.
How do you know?
She turned the page. Hey.
Mitch, how do you know I have a big clock?
No, I said he had a big clock.
Flavor Flav, of course.
Yeah.
Flavor Flav. So anyhow, me and my wife used to watch that train record show, and it was funny. So I had talked to Bridget Nielsen, and she's like, "Call your wife." I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Call your wife." So I sure enough, I called her on the cell phone, and she talked to her for a second.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice when they do that.
And then it was a very I guess I don't know where she's from. I really don't.
She's from like Scandinavia.
But it's like in a very European way. She kissed me on both sides, and
that's sweet.
Yeah.
So there's
she looked like Ms. Hathaway at that point from Beverly Hillbillies, but
No, that's what all the men and women in my family all across Europe do.
Yeah, that's
yeah. You're not in other words, you're not special, high beams. I'm sorry.
Linda
I'm kidding.
Hamilton kissed me on my lips.
Who? Linda Hamilton?
Yes.
Nicholas.
That's cool.
Linda Hamilton's from Jersey.
Linda Hamilton had a bookmark. That page didn't turn.
Nicholas Hammond kissed you on the mouth?
Really? Man, I saw her, and I guess it was like 15 years ago, but I was very impressed. I thought she was still very Lindsay Wagner is immortal, as is Linda Carter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and even Erin Gray's doing pretty good.
Have you ever seen Jane Seymour?
Which one? Jane Seymour. Oh, Jane Seymour is ridiculous. Yeah.
Ageless.
Yes. And Bernadette Peters.
And Linda Carter, of course.
Yeah. And Linda Carter, yes, absolutely.
Now let's talk about people who are ugly.
All right, thanks.
Well, starting with these five.
Everybody. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
All right. Obviously, Franco's got to go. So
ghost stories next time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right. Follow us when you see us. Thanks, Mitch, for hanging out. Thanks for letting me yell at you.
I got nowhere to go, John. My show's been canceled this year, so I'm here till dawn.
Don't worry, Mitch. We'll figure something out.
Since Art's not here,
2 out of 5 people in this thing have canceled shows.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Michael.
Did I ever tell you the time I got hired at Reed Expo and then I told the guy off? Yeah.
I'll say it now. I like Pink very much, Lois. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
When they were looking for...